Go flat tracker. Go flat tracker. Go, go, go. Go flat tracker. Go flat tracker. Go, go, go. Go flat tracker. Go flat tracker. Go, go.
The KLAVR FLAT TRACK POD is brought to you by our partners 193 Racing, MX Inc., Classic Wheel Spokes and Otway Hydro Blasting, Rite Sport, Euroka Fencing, and of course, KLAVR FLAT TRACK products. They support us, so go support them. Now on to the episode. Go Flat Tracker.
Before we carry on with this episode, I'd like to introduce our latest pod partner, Trac Suspension. Whether you're a racer or a weekend warrior, Rite have got you covered. All right, so here we are for another episode of the KLAVR FLAT TRACK podcast. Tonight, I'm really happy to have a couple guys from across the ditch, Blake Gilard and Scott Wilkins, on with me. A couple of the Aussie guys are meant to come on. 3 of them are bailed already. So, Tom, I'm going to give you shit again. He got upset I called him a bludger last time, but he's bludgeoned again. Mick Curtness couldn't make it, and Billy Ryan's got his brother's graduation dinner, so I guess we can let him off on that. But just following a great weekend of racing over in New Zealand on an awesome track that gets a lot of comments from the photos on social media. Scott was just saying off air, actually, that probably could have or should have been a housing development a couple of times over by now. It's in such a beautiful place, and you can get distracted. And was it turn 3 you were saying? Yeah. Get a bit sketchy if you're looking at the wrong thing.
Yeah, look right down the back straight. You get a pretty nice view of the beach. So, yeah, can miss a great.
So where exactly is Waihi Beach? Is it
Waihi Beach? So Waihi Beach is on base of the Coromandel Peninsula, and our sort of which way would be northwest of Tauranga and about 2 hours southeast of Auckland. So yeah, it's probably an hour and a half south of Auckland. And I apologise if you're hearing that. It's Guy Fawkes over here, and we still sell fireworks here, so the neighbour's going off.
Oh, right. Yeah. Oh, is that tonight?
No, but you're allowed to sell from yesterday till the 5th, so we'll get this forward.
Okay.
So Waihi Beach is bottom of the Coromandel, sort of, it's in the western bar plenty. It's a little seaside town, resort, sort of similar resort town. It's sort of been growing in popularity last sort of 10 years. It probably is not one of the bigger ones like Bongamatara or Whitianga, which are the big 2 ones in the Coromandel Peninsula with the really flash houses. But yeah, we get a fair bit of work in there now too. It's got a really nice beach, even like that too. The only place to have a shark attack in the last 100 years in New Zealand too, to be fair. So yeah.
Right. So Scott, we're just talking. I think your 3rd podcast with us. So thanks again for coming on, and welcome, Blake. This is your first one. You've been winning everything across the ditch there, from what I can tell. So your racing in flat track's been going really well. Tell us a little bit about your background. I wasn't actually going to do this. I was going to do it just more like a conversation about the weekend, but since the other guys haven't rocked up, we might as well learn a bit about you too, since you've taken the time coming on. What got you into flat track? Have you got other disciplines in your pocket? You just give us a bit of a word about that.
Yeah, my background's purely motocross. Yeah, since minis right through juniors. I did a little bit of, me and Scotty both did a little bit of super motard. I guess that would have been mid-2000s, Scotty, 2005-ish. I think when motard was sort of getting quite big or starting off in New Zealand, we both did a bit of that. It was only really one season for me. While I was riding for KDM here, did a season racing motocross MX Nationals in Aussie for Suzuki, and then came back here the following year and done a couple of seasons up in Europe, racing German, World Juniors, bits and pieces like that. Then came home here, had some big injuries. I think I ended up having about 4 or 5 seasons worth of surgeries and get right another surgery. So I guess a lot of my motocross career was sort of healing up and getting ready and hitting the reset button. But getting into flat track, it was purely Sam really. We'd sort of talked to Sam a lot after I'd seen those first pictures of him, the first sort of clay classic he did with the boys and the first bike that he built. He'd sort of had a couple of concussions and whatnot and couldn't race at the time. And he sort of said, hey, can you want to jump on my bike and do a local race day, which I jumped at it. I think it was Scotty was there and a few of the other boys. when Rosebank was just getting started, and I was hooked right from the get-go. And obviously Sam, as we all know, sort of passed away. I think it was about 3 weeks after that club day. And sort of we all sat down, a lot of the boys, Luke Ramsey was another one at the funeral, and we sort of said, hey, you know, Sam was kicking this thing off. You know, I thought if a few of us could build some good bikes and some, you know, put some quality gear on track, people would really start taking this thing serious. And we sort of got right behind it. At that point, I called it a day on motocross. I was just all in on this flat track thing, and the rest sort of history. It's just sort of growing year on year. The Clay Classics got bigger and bigger, like Scotty said, to the point where a couple of years at Sam's house, and realistically after that second year, we'd really outgrown it. It was a small little track, but we couldn't really fit too much more in there. So it worked out really good with Waihi Club coming on board for us. I think a big thing as well, it was a Clay Classic, so we really needed to stay with the clay base sort of format, and that track has just really been perfect for us.
You sound like you went through a lot of psychological stuff with your MX, and I guess that was a career for you. And now the flat track, do you look at that as obviously the Clay Classics in honour of Sam, but do you look at that as more of a hobby and fun, or are you sort of now it's starting to build more, it's getting a bit more serious? What's the direction going there for you?
It's a tough one. Like I guess I'm more at the end of my riding career as such, but I guess doing it for so long, you've still got that competitive itch that needs a good scratch. And for me, I can race pretty hard and still feel like I can get up on a Monday morning and not feel too sore. But come like the last couple of years of my motocross racing, I'd be wrecked come Tuesday still. So that's the one thing I really like about the flat track. But I think for me, it's more about seeing the new guys coming into it, helping other people out, and just seeing it grow. You know, like sure, I get a kick out of winning some races, but I think my results at this Clay Classic were probably the worst that I've had there, but still probably the most fun I've ever had. So that's ticking boxes for me.
For me, it's all about the battles, and it doesn't really matter where you come if you're having good battles on the track. And just trying to beat each other can be better than coming first or second. It doesn't matter where you are in the field. Scotty, we're saying offline, this is about the sixth classic.
I just looked it up. It's the seventh.
It's the seventh, yeah. So I think it was my first pod interview with you was 2022. I have to go back and fact check that, but I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah, I think we just signed up to go to Waihi Beach, and we're talking about the Clay Classic going to Waihi Beach that year. So
how do you feel like with this event? I know it's a very personal matter for you as well, but like, are you really stoked with how it's building? Would you like to see more numbers there? What's your feel of it all?
Yeah, no, like I made a call last year not to ride it. We haven't got a lot of history, so we haven't got a lot of old guys to run events for us, which motorcycle clubs across New Zealand and Australia run on old guys that sometimes are a bit grumpy, but they do it for love of the sport. And I always say the true guys that love the sport will get up their bike to make sure it keeps running, so other guys do. So, yeah, I'm this year to have we had 12 South Islanders come up, and that's unbelievable. Right, a lot of those guys too. They're not really fast guys. They probably know they're going to struggle to make an A main or even a B main, but they still came up, and and then to have three Aussies and type of guys like Matt, Mick, and Ryan come over. Like Mick's a Aussie flat track legend, and Billy's a new up and coming kid. So to have those guys spend their own money to come over here, because we're not paying any expenses, they did it all off their own back. And I've always I base these events on a few of the events I really enjoyed going to, and I used to call the Greymouth Street Race the most fun event of the year. I now call it the most fun road race event of the year, because I think I've made the Classic even better. And part of the fun is that, I mean, we pay a little bit of prize money, even like that, but everyone pays to be there. So we haven't sort of got the people that always turn up that want start money or anything like that. And we try and make an event that's everyone's fun and everyone really has a beer afterwards and has a good time. So on that scale, I think I've knocked it out of the park, and the guys that helped me, we've knocked it out of the park. We've made it awesome. Like, we had 29 DTX bikes entered. We started off with 4 bikes 7 years ago.
Yeah.
At a Rosebank Club Day. So that's awesome. So yeah, so we're getting there. We're probably going a different direction from Australia and everything like that. But I think the flat track, and I'd love guys like Blake or Mark to go to Aussie and learn some stuff there, because I'm sure there'll be a big eye opener. And with Matty offering us bikes and stuff like that, because he's got a shed full of them, he reckons. I hope that happens next year. Probably, yeah. Really, especially Mark. He's a bit younger than Blake and everything like that. So but I think Blake could turn some heads there too. And I think Blake was number 4 in the world in junior motocross. He took down what he did. So there's pretty awesome guys, and I'd love to see him on a TT track. So he's got.
You'd definitely have a ball, Blake. I had no doubt about that. You would have seen I know you saw my comment, Scott, when Tony Nagel commented about the Aussies blowing the Kiwis away. Yeah, you can never say never. And I knew just from coming over and racing like Wayne Drake and Johnny, myself in the South Island, there's guys with passion, and passion always pushes and shines through. And you never trust the internet, because video footage always looks slower than it really is. So we knew there was...
And as I replied to Tony, I said the biggest thing is that 3 of them wanted to come over here. That we'd made an event.
Yeah, that's right.
That people want to come over here for, and that's, to me, that's my one. Not that, and yeah, to Mark had the quickest time in the heats, and he top qualified for the pole shuffle and like that. Awesome.
Yeah, it's
better all day and proved how good a racer he was. So
it's really cool, and I had nothing to do with them coming over, but I did have chats with all of them about racing the Burt in Invercargill in February, and also doing the Clay Classic. But as I said to them, you got to contact Scott, because I haven't done it. I don't really know much about it apart from the history of it. But I haven't been there, so I haven't experienced it myself yet. I'm still, hopefully we'll get over there. I'm really proud and happy that they did do that and pull the cash out. And it's really interesting from Billy Ryan, like you say, he's a new up-and-comer, and he's turning heads over here and doing things that you would put Tom James' name to, like his corner speed and what he's doing. But it was really interesting. He seems to be wanting to do some things differently rather than just go to America, so UK and New Zealand. And so it was fantastic to see him come across and do that. And I believe they're going to Invercargill. I hope they do.
They are. So they brought a bike over here. So it's currently in my shed. So
right.
We'll help them get down to South Island, and so they're coming looking at doing the Canterbury Champs the week after. I was talking to Matthew.
Yeah, so this is actually a long-term dream of mine, as you would know, Scott, that, we're starting to interact as countries and racing flat track family and linking and doing that bike swapping and I did a little bit with the Netherlands, and that was fantastic. And any of those guys are welcome at my place any day. It's same like with the guys in the South when I went there. Anyone wants to come and ride my bike, it's theirs. So when I saw them say they're all going, it was sort of, a big birthday for me, even though I didn't directly have anything to do with it.
Yeah, and it's really cool that Billy's looking towards Europe, and I think as a stepping stone, I think coming down and doing the Burt and doing the Canterbury Champs and riding 2 speedway style tracks, which a lot of the flat track in Europe is on speedway, even though they're not in hours, but riding that shale type track will put them in good stead to go up there. So
So Blake, what were your thoughts racing against the Aussies? Were they slower, faster? Be honest.
No, I knew we were probably going to be on the back foot. I know the Aussie boys have obviously got a lot of experience, more than what we would. But it was interesting. Like, I had a good talk to. Obviously, I put Mick on my 450 for the weekend. He just bought some suspension over. I had a spare set of wheels that would work on the 450, so that was perfect for him. And we had a real good conversation. I think Matty and Mick both said, and Matty as well, the year before he came over, he said, man, I thought I was just I'd seen photos of the Kiwis and seen some videos, and he said, I'm going to head over there and blow your doors off, And he came over and he said to Mick, like, these guys are actually bloody good, they're, and we had some awesome battles throughout the day, I thought it was really good. The cool thing, like, I think different parts of the day, different guys were doing different stuff. Like, I think the way Mark was riding, he was awesome early in the day in his heat. Like, I think he had Billy pretty well measured, and then as the track swung a different way, Billy, his speed definitely came in. I would say like probably the pole shuffle. From then on, his lap times really dropped throughout the day. The way the sort of track was faring then, but it was good. I had a couple of good races with Mick. We were paired in the same heats. It was good. Like they had plenty of advice for me too. Like I don't really know if I'm okay or good or whatnot. You know, we only have ourselves to really base against. So it was pretty cool to sort of get some good info off them. Like the boys kept telling me, they said, get off that 300 of yours. Just you need to get back on 450. And I said I didn't want to jump back on a 300 this year. I just had intentions of building a rocket ship 470 kit to go and do the beach race, but I couldn't do both because I think it would have made a terrible flat track bike the way we were going to try and build it. So I thought it was time to get back on the 300, and I get a massive kick out of riding the two-stroke. I think the bike's just a massive ball of fun. So it was good. Like, and I think I was still very competitive on it. On the weekend, you know, still finished second in the feature, and I think I was about 1.1 off Billy's quickest time, and still managed to go quicker than I've been around Waihi before, but just missed that last little bit. So maybe we put the 450 back to flat track spec, and then Billy can go at it again and at the Burt possibly. We'll see.
Yeah, righto. Yeah, so Mick was on your 450. You didn't have a spare 450, did you? Apart from that one.
No, I've just got the 450, so that was my race bike from last year. And then I still had my 300 sitting in the shed, which was my race bike the year before that. And we didn't really, that 300's been sitting there. I think it did 2 motocrosses in the off season. So we just sort of rebuilt it up and hit go again for this season.
So you think, you know, I should have put Mick on the 300 and I should have ridden the 450? Or
Well, after we were talking about this on the way home, I said to, because Maddie's going to come back over for the Burt, the beach race.
Yeah.
I think he intends on doing everything there is that you can possibly do well down at the Burt. I said to Matt, well, hey, maybe there's going to be a 300 two-stroke here sitting for you. And he said, sweet, that sounds like a bit of fun. So maybe we'll have Mick back over for that one as well.
Well, that'd be cool. Yeah, I talked to him last time had him on the pod, and he was pretty keen to go. I was trying to get together New Zealand versus Australia, so I think we're still a little bit off that, but hopefully in the next couple of years we'll get something going like that. And you guys, them coming over and you guys making those connections is just going to make that easier. So that's really good. But I don't know, how would you guys like to see something like that unfold? Would you like to see a couple rounds in each country, or how do you reckon that could work?
I've actually already been talking to Matthew Ryan about this yesterday, because he suggested the same thing. Because our North versus South got rained out at Easter this weekend, so we ran that over 2 heats at the Clay Classic to keep it up for the year. The North Island one again. So whether we do a North versus South versus West Island, or whether we do pick a New Zealand team, and obviously we'd probably commit to the number of Australians that are coming over, and that would set the teams up. I think first try. I'm a big believer in trying stuff first before you try and make a series out of it. It's got to work for one meeting before it works for 3 meetings. And I think sometimes, and I think the AFTN did it well too. They didn't try and go too big too fast. And now you've got a bit of momentum behind it. You can start putting a few more rounds in it. But I mean, we're definitely looking at it next year. I mean, the North versus South is not something we normally run at the Clay Classic. But if we had 3, 4, 5 Aussies coming over, there's no reason why we couldn't pair them either against a New Zealand team or North Island and a South Island team.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Different way to look at it. Yeah, for sure.
And
well, we've definitely got lots of Aussies that want to come. So it's not just those 3. Before they committed, I've still had. Well, you've also got. So they're sort of some of the big names of Aussie flat track, I guess you would say. But we've also got, guys that are a little bit further down in the pecking order that are wanting to come, like Jim Joplin and
Jim Joplin,
myself, and
Jim's coming to Burt, and he's on, because I'm not going down to Burt this year, so I'm not really racing this. I might start racing after Christmas when I'm off the decent blood thinners. So so he's coming down to race my bike down there. So we'll organise that to get down there for him, and I think he's worked it so he can do the Canterbury Champs the week after. So we try to set it up so he can do 2, and not a lot of guys back us up with the Auckland Champs the week after. But if you're going to South Island, spending a week in Central Otago and to Queenstown and Arrowtown and all that sort of thing, Mrs. will even like it too, so you can convince her it's for her sake too. So
Yeah, no, he loved it last time. So yeah, I think you'll see Jim going there for a few years in a row anyway. Uh, until they decide that it's sacrificing the sidecar career over here.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, back to the return leg. It might become a bit harder to organise once we have to involve Motorcycling New Zealand and Motorcycling Australia, because with our insurance rules over here, which are a lot more lenient than what Australia has, because we're not allowed to sue each other,
yeah,
it's we can run what you call a black meeting a lot easier than you could in Australia, because you don't have the fear of one of the people hurting themselves and suing you. So
yeah, it's a funny one. It's I've been looking into that, as I was saying to you off here a bit, and yeah, I don't know where a lot of these facts are coming from. I actually can't find a lot of the facts, which is even weirder. It's like,
yeah,
yeah. Anyway, we're not going to go into that because I wanted to talk about the Clay
definitely.
Classic, and it looks like Matt's forgotten because it's half an hour in and he hasn't replied to my text either. You bloody slacker, Matt Davies. Yeah, like you said, it is great that he's taken a bike over there. And is that in your shed as well? Did you say that one's in your
No,
shed?
that's a
That's in
Blake
my
shed.
kid.
Oh, is it? Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And that's that's awesome. I mean, that's a sign right there that we can all work together as a community and make shit happen. And yeah, if Kiwis want to bring a bike over here rather than borrowing a bike, I'm sure they can trust the guys they leave it with, because we've all got the same goals, and that's making a community of flat track racing that's accessible. And I think going across to another country, or you would definitely be able to speak on this, Blake, from your motocross years, is there's something special about racing overseas, no matter at what level you are. It's just, I don't know, it's just a really cool thing to do. Yeah, I really love the times I've come home and raced, and I want to do more of it. When I went to the Netherlands, even though I didn't get to race, I got to do a Royal Enfield slide school. And yeah, it was just sensational. Like, those memories are going to stick with me until the day I have dementia or the day I die. So yeah, I hope more and more races, no matter what your level, will embrace it and get into it. And so we sort of heard Blake's point of view about the Aussie riders. Scott, what were you expecting? Did you have expectations, or
I'd seen Mick race before. I don't know if I said in the last podcast, but I was at the Tari Twilight meeting the year before it became
yeah,
the
that's right.
Davis Classic. So I
Yeah,
knew he was sharp, and anyone that races in America as a professional is sharp. So
yeah,
I just didn't know. Maybe part of me thought they were going to dominate, but I knew our formats made them pass bikes, and that's why we run a lot of speedway car formats, because
yeah,
I like close racing and like that, and having the same guy win every race is not that great idea. But I probably didn't expect Billy to be as good as he was later in
yeah,
the day. I always thought Mick would have had the experience on different top tracks and like that. And I think Billy in the first couple of practices, I think he was struggling to get his head around about it, if anything, overriding. And then I was really impressed with Billy's racecraft for a 17-year-old. Like some of the stuff he did in the pole shuffle, holding guys out wide, the race against Blake in the Clay Classic feature and the South Smith Memorial feature. His racecraft was really, really good for a young guy. So Billy really impressed me. With the almost like old man racecraft he had, which is really,
yeah, right.
really cool. Like, he was blazingly fast, but the way he squared up Blake, and Blake was making him work hard. Like, Blake's raced a lot of stuff, will make guys work hard to get around you. And he changed his line, he squared up and got back to the inside to basically make Blake give up the inside, which is really, really good. So Billy really impressed me with his attitude all weekend, and he got better every race. And
Yeah, right.
Definitely did. Yeah.
the other kid that really impressed me, and I don't know if we'll get him off a solo because he'd have a really good chance on a flat track bike, is Oscar Drake. So
Yeah,
Drakey's boy. So he never saw
yeah,
my bike till the morning of the event. It was on the tyres that Matty Davies ran last year. I turned around the edge for Wayne for Western Springs early in the year, and he ran that same edge because it was the best edge on the bike. And he was awesome. He
yeah, right.
he qualified third in his heat. He was eighth out of 9 bikes in the pole shuffle. Won the first 4, including one off the penalty line because he jumped the start in the second one. And he was unbelievable. Looked a touch ragged, I'm not going to lie. But for someone who'd never ridden a 450 flat tracker, he'd ridden his old man once at a practice day, and he was really, really cool. And I know I've seen him on a solo, and I wish TAB had some money. We're allowed to bet on the under 21 solo chance because I put some money behind him. He's so if he sticks with a solo, or hopefully we get him on a flat track bike some more too. He's going to be an awesome kid to watch because he's 15 years old. He's only just barely allowed to ride seniors in New Zealand. He's got a dispensation to ride a 500cc solo. He is a racer. So that was
awesome.
Yeah, the
Shuffle had 8 races, and it was all won by 17-year-olds and under. So the old boys got cleaned up, and to have Billy take out Matt and Mick and Blake and everything like that. Those guys were good. And he did it not just on pure speed too. Like he got a start and held him high and everything like that. Didn't let the guys square him up. So yeah, Billy really impressed me he's got an old head on those shoulders the way he did it.
Were you saying something there, Blake?
Yeah, I thought young Oscar as well, in a way, he was a little bit like Billy watching as the day went on. Like Oscar, obviously for him, it was a brand new bike, learning flat track as well, new track. He didn't start the day super fast. He just sort of bored his way into it slowly, like Billy did. But by the time the pole shuffle rolled around, I was sitting on the infield because I'd in the top 9 for the shuffle and watching Oscar just knock off bike after bike. I was like, this is impressive. He didn't look like someone that had just seen this new bike and a new track that day. He was looking pretty good. So I'm hoping the same. I hope he does a bit more flat track, but I think it's going to be hard to get him away from that solo bike.
Well, so explain to me the pole shuffle. Was that like a sort of one-on-one elimination, or
the pole shuffle comes from sprint cars or midget car racing or speed car racing, as you call it in Australia. So so we ran 3 groups of 10 bikes, or 10 or 9 bikes each, and the top 3 qualified straight to the A main. The rest next 3 go to B main, next go to the C main. But the top 3 guys, so the pole shuffle. So basically, what happens is all the top qualifiers, their fastest lap time makes 1, 2, 3. The second qualifiers, their lap times make 4, 5, 6. And Blake was 4, Billy was 5, and that was 0.02 of a second difference. The top lap time each. So Oscar qualified 3rd and was 8th. So he got so basically 8 versus 9, with 8 getting lane choice. So they get to choose grid 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Both guys chose the inside. So the winner stays in, and the next person gets lane choice. So you could qualify 9th, and if you win everything, you start on pole.
Yeah, righto.
Yeah.
I'm confused.
And it's a green-white checker, so it's 2 laps. You start.
Yeah, okay.
So it's really exciting racing, and it was really, really cool race. It's if you ever go to a sprint car show, they normally have a pole shuffle. So
okay. Yeah, I've watched a couple. There's an sprint car Easter trail over here, and I've been to that, and I can't remember seeing a pole shuffle there, but I probably wasn't paying enough attention. Just going to do a quick screen share because I've actually brought up. It's fantastic. I was super stoked actually that you've got my laps timing, and I could bring up the results.
Yes. I will not give you a rant on CompuTime because I hate using that website.
Right. Anyway,
Aussie Supercross or Aussie Superbikes, or Aussie Motocross or Aussie Flat Track, I swear at CompuTime every time. I apologise if you.
Right. Is it because of the PDF documents? Is that what annoys you?
Oh, it's just that it's slow and it's not very user friendly, and there's no app on your phone, so you got to use Safari or Chrome on your phone. It's just Speed Hive is so good.
Oh, so easy.
Yeah, it's funny. I find it compute time a little bit annoying as well. It's probably the diplomatic way of saying it. Look, but I think their timing loop might be easier to set up. I could be wrong on that. Do you guys have a permanent timing loop at that track, or
no? We've got a permanent pipes under the ground. So we use MX Timing, who mostly does motocross, does a little bit of motocross and road race. We actually use the road race transponders because that's what Speedway New Zealand use. And so we there's a couple of timing people in New Zealand. Like I'm pretty sure CompuTime works off Speed Hive or MyLap software, which is Orbit software.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So the actual transponders are the same. It's just the computer program behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure they still use Milaps, which is a company. Dorian was the Aussie company that Speedway used to use. It's a company out of the Netherlands that most of the countries around the world use for their transponders.
Yeah, right. So where I was going is, it seems like the classes have developed and changed a little bit since the last time I spoke to you. So we've got DTX. Is that sort of an open class for
So
motocross
DTX is
bikes?
19-inch. DTX is 19-inch flat track wheels. Yeah,
But it can be any CC or
NECC. Yeah,
yeah, righto.
it's meant to be motocross or enduro based.
Righto. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
the one that has really got me stumped is stock bikes overs and stock bike unders.
So stock bike, you have to run a 21-inch front wheel. So you're probably more traditional flat track, but no one's got an Aussie flat track bike in here. It's basically for guys with a motocross bike that want to turn up and have a go. Chuck a rear tyre on, so a tyre on an enduro bike or a K180 Dunlop, some of the guys use, and then under and overs, it's basically 0 to 252 stroke 251 and over, or 0 to 304 stroke 301 and over, which is the old school unders and overs in New Zealand from motocross and racing.
Yeah, cool.
So, yeah, we were pretty sure the numbers, and then they turned up on a day because we were going to combine them. Then Thunderbike is really our twins class, but we expanded it.
Yeah.
Again, we're really new in this, so I was trying to get as many bikes as possible. So the rules for Thunderbike is any air-cooled 4-stroke or 2-stroke and any twin.
Yeah, right. Cool.
So Drakey had his 600, whatever cc Rotax he's got. There was an XR500, worked up XR500 there. Guy brought his DR650. Mick really loves his DR650s, by the way. Yeah. And then in the past, we've had some BSAs, and Sam Smith's father's got a Triumph and a Champion frame, I think, and a flat track frame. Yeah. He's run that class before. But the Thunderbot was really down in numbers this year. Then Mad Dog, because I took some rules out of America, which is basically, and we modified them again, like most stuff we do in New Zealand. We try and get most stuff in there. So Mad Dog is up to 185cc air-cooled 2-strokes. So you 800, you tier mud bugs, which are everywhere around here, or 230cc 2-valve 4-strokes, air-cooled.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And a few years ago, we had 12 in that class. It was really good, but we only had about 5 guys this year. So we have a meeting over here called the Farm Bike Group. Farm Bike Nationals. It's probably similar to your Postie Bike Nationals, where you run old stuff. So
all ag bikes and that, like KE 100s and all that sort of stuff.
Exactly. DR200s, CRF 230s.
Yeah, cool.
Like that.
Yeah, and then north versus south's pretty self-explanatory, and Sam Smith Memorial.
So Sam Smith Memorial, how we work the Sam Smith Memorial feature, the top 24 fastest lap times from the heat races qualify you for two semi-finals. And that
okay.
Fast. So if you've got a Mad Dog that you've got fast enough on, you can put it in the thing, you can race that.
Yeah, right.
It's mostly dominated by DTX bikes, but a few, I don't think any of the
couple of stock bikes get in
this year, but they have in the past.
Yeah,
right.
And then the Sam Smith Memorial feature is set by what we call a competitor invert. So instead of having a handicapper, the riders do it themselves. So the defending champion has to start off the inside of the back row.
Yeah.
He chooses who starts next to him. So if you ever want to see some motorcyclists hiding, because we do it in the pit shoot, and the Aussies didn't really work together that well for this because they all picked themselves at the back. So as Tyler Brown had a bit of a surprise win last year. It was my nephew, and he was a good friend of Sam's as well. So he won it last year. So and he won it off the front row last year because he was one of the last to qualify. But so he started off the back, and he chose who started next to him, and he chose Billy, who'd just won the A-Main for the DTS Club. And then I think Billy chose Mick, and then Mick chose Matt. So the Kiwi boys got a bit of let off. Yeah, because as I said to Tyler Brown, if I was you, I'd be asking for cash. Or at least a round.
The track change massively during the day. You were talking about the guys getting quicker and figuring stuff out. Was there big track changes, like what time of day does it go to? Does the moisture start coming up, that sort of thing, start affecting the clay? Or
we don't go that late. So we start, practice starts about 11:30, and we're all over by 4 o'clock.
Righto.
I think the track was probably a bit dry early on, and we kept watering it, and the Waihi Beach Dirt Track Club guys, they really got it, and and to set the fastest lap times in the feature proves I got it right pretty good. So
Yeah, it's funny because I remember when I raced at Moore Park with Drakey and Johnny, and we were the top three fastest, and we had the handicap, and they were saying, "Oh, do you want to start like half a lap down, or do you want to start right in front of the pole line?" I said, "I'll just start wherever you guys are," not really considering how much the track had slickened off. Well, had no idea that how much moisture had come up, and yeah, the track was heap slicker. So
yeah,
unfortunately, I missed out of the podium by a spot, but
yeah.
but yeah,
Especially
it's funny.
those Canterbury winds can come up and dry out Moore Park real quick.
Yeah, well, we're just we're not really used to the clay tracks here, so and that's sort of a granity track, but it was quite clayey by the time the moisture came up. Like it was really sort of. It was like a totally different surface compared to during the day. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Rosebank can be like that. It can really bake off, and I think the sidecars can really take that top off it really well too.
yeah,
We're
okay.
really only
Yeah.
running flat track bikes, so we probably don't
Yeah.
dry it out like the 1000cc sidecars do.
Yeah. Yeah, the only track that's come close to it over here was actually the second day of AFTN at Albury Wodonga, and I think they've put I know they put new surface down, and it must have had some clay mixed in there because it was really different. I'd never seen it like that before, and it was actually a lot of fun. It's probably
Yeah.
it was definitely my best qualifying. Uh,
Yeah, when we used
but
to run at Bernie Smith's farm at Sam's old man's farm, that was Harrisville clay, which is pretty renowned for the clay motocross trackers just around the corner, and
yeah.
that got blue groove. So yeah.
So I noticed on a Facebook post, Scott, that you were sharing Blake. Sorry, I'm trying to double task. I'm not very good at multitask. You were sharing the champagne. What's the go there? Did you pay a bit of money for that, or do you buy it so you just get complimentary squigs? Or
I've got on my day to work all day and I put a swig of champagne out of one of it, and I buy the biggest bottles I can find from Gilmore's, which is a wholesaler over here. So yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I think I've earned my fucking sip of wine by that time of day, mate.
Yeah, I thought that might have been what was going on. You looked like you were hanging for it. That's for sure.
Yeah, it was good to see Blake and Mick stitch the Billy up real good. He wasn't too quick on getting that champagne bottle off, and
Yeah,
Blake and Mick were real good at getting ears off pretty quick while he was doing his speech. So
I think me and Mick were standing there at the back, and Mick came straight to me and he's like, "No spraying, no spraying." I think obviously he was flying back and had to get all the gear and everything home. And then I pointed at Billy and he said, "Yeah, this will be Billy's first champagne podium." And I said, "We're getting him." And yeah, I could absolutely plastered him. It was bloody good.
Yeah, it was a funny video. I enjoyed that one. So Blake, during the weekend, and so were you hosting Mick and his family, or?
So yeah, Mick, I picked up the boys from the airport on, I think it was Friday, and then they pretty much had, I think, a couple of suitcases each with gear and clothes and bike parts and whatnot. So we came straight back to my place here, and I think we built Mick's bike up first from mine. I sort of ripped everything off it, ready to bolt his suspension and my wheels back into it. So we got that one ready.
Yeah.
And then before I actually picked them up from the airport, I went. It was about an hour and a bit away to the Husqvarna importer, and Maddie had already bought a bike, and instead of sending it to the dealer, they left it up here at the supply, which was easier for me to grab, which was good. Picked that up. We pretty much built that down at our Airbnb on Friday night. So we just took Maddie's rims straight into Mr. Motorcycles, the local dealer, fitted up his tubes and tyres, and then, hit the road down to Waihi. I think we got the bike built in about 2 hours, so it wasn't too bad. So, it's just bike parts sprawled all over the garage, and a couple of beers and a barbecue on Friday night, and we're ready to go racing.
So who, out of the three of them, who hadn't you met? You hadn't met Billy. Had you met Mick Curtis before?
No, I hadn't met Mick at all. I'd only met Maddie just the year before. So, no, I sort of put the word out, I think it was probably about 3 or 4 months ago, and said, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to have a bike spare. I had a few people sort of message, and ideally I wanted to get someone that had raced on the 19s before, like a couple of guys that had sort of more into the long track sort of setup, or the 18-inch rear with the 21. But Mick messaged pretty quick, and I said, yeah, man, 100%. Obviously, him being a husky guy, I knew that he'd probably have some suspension or be able to get some, because I said, my bike's ready to go. I've just only got a spare set of motocross suspension. So if you can bring your own stuff, I've got the wheels that'll work. And he said, not a problem. He'll sort something out. And worked out pretty good, obviously, with him racing the last round at AFT. He was able to sort of get some suspension from there and bring it over with him.
Yeah, awesome. So there was mentions before when we were talking about you going over and maybe, was it Mark, how do you say his surname?
Oh, Galbraith.
So Mark as well, possibly. Is that something you're sort of itching to do, or you sort of neither here or there about it, or?
Oh, no, I'd love to go over. The boys were really trying to twist my arm for next weekend.
Oh, right.
Matty, he said that oil track would be right up my wheelhouse. He said that's something that I'd probably go quite well at. So I said, if it wasn't 2 weeks away, I'd probably be quite keen. But I know with obviously going to Aussie, it's licensing, it's all of that sort of stuff. It's not just a couple of days sorted out, good to go, and sort the finances out. But I think realistically next year we need to just have a look at the calendar and try and lock something in nice and early. Like Matty said, bikes and that side of it's generally not a problem. It's just sort all the other stuff out and make it happen.
Yeah, you're right about the licensing side of things. It's not quite as easy as New Zealand. I was surprised actually how affordable and easy it was when I came and did more part. So it's a bit of a shame, but hopefully we can rectify that somehow. The first year I went and did the first 2 years actually I did, or all three maybe, I did the Burt Munro Challenge. I bought an international license, and that was the best way to go about it, because it was about I think it was about $125 then. I don't know if it's the same now. And you could just get into it. It was you didn't have to worry about needing a country license as such.
Yeah, it's a lot different now. The FIM
is it? Yeah.
FIM has changed. International, they've changed even the name of it. It's a lot of stuff went down, and it's a whole lot.
Oh, bloody hell!
Yeah, so it's a whole lot harder what it used to. And Australia doesn't provide rider releases anymore. So basically, you have to give up your MA license and buy a Motorcycle New Zealand license, which is not that dear, but you have to prove you've got repatriation insurance. And if anyone wants to do it, I'll talk you through it. But there's some stuff that's easy and some stuff that's not. But it is easier to go Australia to New Zealand than it is to go New Zealand to Australia because of the insurance issues. So
we'll have to find some hole there, loophole, so we can make it easier for people, because that sucks if it's going to stop people wanting to come over. So I thought you guys can read through your results since we're here. What's the best way to start?
Okay, well, I'll start here. We'll start off with the Mad Dog. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk through what I think one of the really coolest thing about New Zealand Flat Track is we are where every racer meets to race each other. So I'm going to go through some of these guys, where they come from, and some of these are
cool.
So we'll start with the Mad Dog. Was run by Scotty Moore.
I can click on any of the results here.
Mad Dog feature.
Mad Dog feature. Oh, yep.
Yeah. So won by Scotty Moore, who's one of the top road racers in New Zealand, been a top superbike rider probably close to the last decade. I used to think he was that young, but none of us are that young anymore. So he won a couple of classes today, but he's a big supporter of our event. Not a very good one at entering on time, but it's another story. He was on a DR200.
Right.
He races at the Farm Bike Nationals as well. Second in that class was Mitch Brady, who's one of our regular flat track guys.
I think he raced 3 classes that day, didn't he?
Yeah. He planned to.
Awesome.
He planned to race a stock bike and DTX class on the same bike with his brother-in-law, changing the front wheel every race, but they ran out of time. And then Connor Peters was third, and he was on a 225 Scorpio, transferred to a flat track bike that Dave Cole, who was Sam Smith's major supporting mechanic, built up a few years ago. So that was
a cool looking bike too.
Yeah, really cool.
What's a Scorpio? Is that an Asian bike? Is it?
So it's a Malaysian built commuter Yamaha we get over here, which is a 225cc 4-stroke. I don't know if
Oh, righto.
yeah.
No, not familiar with the name.
Yeah. So into the stock bike overs, mostly committed by 252 strokes, actually. A lot of guys racing. Was won by Jack McLean. Matt Keane was second out of Christchurch. He came up, brought 2 bikes up, rode the stock bike and rode DTX as well. And then Liam Hicks was third. Ben Gage Brown was fourth. Mitch Brady was fifth. Mitch Brady rode his DR200 in this class because they couldn't change the front wheel fast enough. And he also won his DTX one. So Ben Gage Brown was a pretty good junior motocrosser here. Should have won a New Zealand title until Shane Metcalf took him out and destroyed his knee. Got a couple of seconds over the years. Has raced with us for a while. Stock bike unders. Again, won by Scotty Moyer on this time in a YZ250F with a 19-inch flat track tyre on the back.
So he's running a couple bikes. That's cool.
Yeah, he ran 2 bikes, yeah. Second was Regan Swinson. On another, he was actually on a YZ125 actually, so he was flying on that little 125. Third was Tyler King. Now Tyler King won a 300 Supersport race in Australia Superbike Nationals this year on a Ninja 400. So he's a pretty up and coming road race. Both me and Blake know his dad pretty well. Then fourth was Daniel Brett, who's one of the up and coming Auckland solo riders as well. So he come from the Speedway community. Thunderbike, we had a lot of guys there. Was won by Wayne Drake on the Rotax. And I think that's a champion frame as well, but it's a full framer, pretty famous bike out of the States actually.
It's a Woods, isn't it?
I remember seeing.
It's a Woods Rotax. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that'll be its first race of the season, wouldn't it?
I think it's the first meeting I've seen it finish for the season and last season.
Yeah.
It's quite what they call temperamental.
Yeah.
Then second was Craig Stevens, who's a friend of a lot of the guys around here. Who's on a mighty dog router 650 with the plate and horn still on it. So, yeah. And then Gordon Molesworth, who's on a Framer TG 500. Really cool looking bike. And he tunes up with the most amazing Chevy pickup truck.
Yeah, right.
With a big V8 in it and sleeper underneath. And yeah, probably the coolest things. Shame that Vince Gimlett on his XR 500 had a bit of really cool looking XR 500. But he had some gearbox trouble, so didn't make the feature. And then we're into we'll go north versus south. So the North Island one. So we did a bit of a different format this year. Normally it's a grid draw in reverse, but this year we decided to that we let the team managers choose the grids. So we had a coin toss, and I was the team manager for the North Island with Tony Cutler, who's one of the only 2 people to do all 6 clay classics, the modern era clay classics. Right. Him and Drakey. 2 guys from the South Island done the whole lot with me.
So what do I click on there? The North versus South or one of the heats?
I'll do the final results here. Those ones there. So Mark won both races. We put Mark off the front both races in a way, and Blake got the back. He got my last pick both races because I backed Blake to pass.
Got it left me to do some passing.
Yeah.
Yeah, righto. Yeah.
So Wayne Drake rode Tony Cutler's KTM in these ones, and he was the top of the South Island riders. And then we had Andy Walker. Now, Andy Walker's a 1995 New Zealand solo champ. One of the Kiki.
Okay, I knew the name was familiar. So
yeah, he was a very
man, he can wheel a flat track bike.
He can wheel a flat track bike. And he runs quite a different line, quite a solo line. He can turn it down in the middle of the corner really well, like a solo can. Yeah. And then we've got Al Hoogie, who's Christchurch born, but based in North Island, so we claimed him this time. He's ex-New Zealand Superbike champ, current Yamaha New Zealand Superbike rider, and he was next to North Islands. Then we had Mike McDonald. Mike rode really, really well. He's really stepped up. He admitted that some of the finals he was running out of puff. James Hoogie, which is Al's brother, he was next to the South Islanders. Then Dan Jordan, Robbie Stokes, ex-New Zealand road race champ as well. Robbie is. Unfortunately, Robbie had a crash in the B main, and he's got a broken knee. So
bugger.
He's in the hospital.
Speedy recovery, mate.
Yeah. And then down to there. So North Island won fairly easily to retain the Classical Doors Shield that we put up a few years ago. And I think we're going back to Moore Park this year to run that again, aren't we?
Yep, it's going to be Easter weekend down there. It'll tie in with the first round of the Tri-Series that we've got in Christchurch as well.
Yeah, awesome.
And then we went to the DTX class, the A main. So to get into here, you had 28 bikes to make a 12-rider feature. So the top 9 bikes came out of the heats. Then the 3 came out of the B main. So, and then we had a C main from there. So Tyler King, Johnny Brassel, and James Hoogie came out of the B main. Oh, sorry, came out of the C main to make the B main.
Yeah.
And Tyler Brown, last year's Sam Smith Memorial winner, Al Hoogie and Mitch Brady came out of the B main to take the back row in the A main. So the feature, Billy Ryan won, led every lap, got the whole shot off pole. Mick Kirkness second. Mark Galbraith got third, his first ever podium in the Clay Classic. He'd been really quick on some of the speedway tracks, and he's really put some work in and got better. Blake was fourth. DAvies was fifth. Oscar Drake, who we talked about, is I think a solo rider. He was sixth. Mike McDonald was seventh. Andy Walker, we talked about before, was eighth. Al Hoogie got up to ninth. Josh Nyhouse was 10th, and I managed to pronounce your name right, mate, finally.
You got it right.
Yeah. Tyler Brown was 11th, and Mitch Brady was 12th. So and then we went to the
Memorial.
the feature, into the Sam Smith Memorial.
Yep.
So again, Billy Ryan won. He started off grid 11. Got to I think he got to set. He got to just have a look. He was at third at the end of the first lap, and then Hupper Blake went back and forward for a few laps, and then he pulled away to win by 2 seconds. But he didn't really dominate. His quickest lap times was a 15.4, which is the quickest lap time we've ever had round Waihi Beach, and Blake did a 15.6.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mick Kirkness was third. Mark Galbraith fourth. Dale Finch, who he rode Sam Smith's 2016 YZ 450 for Smith Airline. So Dale Finch has won the 600 title in New Zealand Superbikes 3 years ago.
Yeah.
He's current Yamaha New Zealand Superbike rider as well. But he was former New Zealand under-21 solo champ too. So he actually comes from a speedway background, and he was really blown away about how different it was to ride a flat track bike. He thought he'd ride it like a solo, and he said it was the worst decision he ever made early on. But then he was one of the
16 out of him in the first day was pretty cool.
Yeah. So he was one of the last to get picked for the feature because he hadn't even made the A main in the DTX class.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And he started off the front row, ran second and third, and then got shuffled back. Mark Galbraith got him late to get shuffled back to fifth, but that was a really good showing for, again, someone that had never ridden a flat track bike before.
Yeah.
Next was Al Hoogie, then Andy Walker, Josh Nyhouse again, Oscar Drake, who we've talked about, Tyler Brown and Mike McDonald. So that was the top 12 guys to make the A main out of the 50-odd bikes we had there.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, it's funny how you talk about, there's quite a few road races in there, which is interesting, coming across and giving the dirt a go. And also, like what you're saying about the solo riders, and I think some people are just more adaptable than others. Like, I never felt that big a difference from the 2118 to 19s, is where other people, I've given them a go on my bike, and I know it's a different bike and that sort of thing, but it's not that badly set up, I don't think. And yeah, some people really struggle. Other people, there was one guy that I gave a go on it, and it looked like he had ridden 19s all his life. Like, tipped it in, 2 wheels slid into the first corner like he'd been doing it forever, and just went, that feels bloody beautiful, And I know a couple really fast guys. A guy called Mick Codell, who's really good on a speedway slider, long track, short track, solos, and on dirt track. And yeah, he couldn't quite get his head around it. And he's one of the people I expected to just go like that, So it's really interesting to see how some people can struggle and some people just go to like ducks to water. But I think if you're fast in another discipline, give them a couple meetings and they'll figure it out.
Yeah, definitely. And it's quite interesting watching the different styles. Like, I really look at Al Hoogie. He really pulls his body into the corner like a road racer, where Blake and even Mark, they sit on top of the bike and dump the bike in. So, And then the solo guys are really weird in the middle. They really ride off the rear tyre really a lot, and they can pivot bikes. And I think the Aussie flat track is a bit like that too, with the use of the 18, where they can pivot the bike in in the middle of the corner really well. So,
Yeah.
and it's really cool racing, and especially the road race. It's so expensive to do road race practice days now with tyre bills and track prep bills. So they get a lot of riding for not a lot of money. And that's why I think the flat track, like we know Cormac Buchanan, who's a Moto3 rider, he rides more flat track in Europe than he does road racing. And he's a Moto3 he's a Moto3 rider running a Moto3 series. So because they just can't race their Moto3 bikes. The tyres are too expensive, the motors are too expensive, and the track days are too expensive.
So you've mentioned tyres a couple times. What tyres are you getting over there now? Are you getting Dunlops and Maxxis and all that now? Because I know you weren't for a while and relying on Shinko and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, Dunlops. Most guys are Dunlop.
Yeah,
most guys are Dunlops now. We can order Hoosiers, but I think I was the last guy doing it. No one's importing Maxxis here. There's Maxxis ATV tyres coming from New Zealand, but I don't know if you really want to get into that. And then we used to be able to buy Mitis as well, but I'm not too sure if anyone's bought one in a while. So, and then Shinkos are still available, but probably 90% of the field's on Dunlops now.
Sorry, just got distracted by Matt, but I think he might join in still. I've been trying the Midas Super Soft recommendation by Michael, the guy that runs the Royal Enfield School in Netherlands, and it's been a good tyre actually. I've actually really liked it. They're totally different shape than the Maxxis. They're sort of the same grip, but they're rounder. They're not as so I don't know if you've ever bought a Maxxis, but I remember a funny story. A guy that you might, if you listen to the pod, Gary Routman, you hear about him a bit when he first got a Maxxis delivered. They're really, really square like that. They look like a car tyre. And he rang Brendan back and said, "This thing's not going to fit my fucking rim. What's going on?" So you sent me a car tyre. But they bend. But they're really square compared to the Midas and the Dunlop. Dunlops are a lot rounder. So it's and I don't know, are you guys over there buying wider triple trees or anything like that? Because you'll find that with a Maxxis you'll get rubbing. Shinko not so bad. Dunlop's good. They clear the forks. Don't rub on the fork legs. But Maxxis, because of that shape, yeah,
it depends what bikes you buy. Look, Cowies and Suzuki's are quite narrow triple trees. I don't think anyone's bought a wider triple tree over here, but I know the Cowies we've always had rub. But I have the same.
And the KTMs generally do too. So
KTMs tend to be a bit wider.
Yeah, and I think with the Shinkos as well, because they were sort of what we had to start with. The Shinkos definitely rub. So the way all the guys that were doing a 19-inch setup, we would always just lower our bike enough that part was sitting above the flare and the forks, and that's sort of how we just made it work.
Yeah, I've done the same with mine. Hey, mate, are you in the car? What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm just up at the motorbike track here. We've been oiling it down.
You've been oiling it?
Yeah. We're riding on
it. We won't tell the EPA about that.
No. That's right. No, we just finished up here. I completely forgot, sorry.
Yeah, I know. Your message said I've been tied up, and I didn't buy that.
Yeah. So, and then
how's it going?
Yeah, good. So we're having our first ride here nearly 8 years this weekend. So
yeah, West Wyalong you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Can you show us? Is it visible from where you are? Yeah.
Yeah, hang on.
So have Scott and Blake, have you ever ridden an oil track?
No.
Never ridden any flat track outside of New Zealand.
Right.
I've never ridden any track outside of New Zealand.
Can you see Matt's footage there? I don't know. How can I make that the main screen?
Yeah, so I've seen one at Taree, but it's
oh yeah, of course you would have. Yeah.
I don't know what the government would do to me if I made one of those here in New Zealand, but I can't see it being really approved.
As long as it doesn't wash into the ocean, I'm sure you're fine.
Oh, no, I'm pretty sure it's pretty of Waitangi, I'm sure of it.
We don't have that problem with the ocean here.
Yeah, they're in the middle of, well, I'm not going to say because I might upset some locals, but there's a lot of land in between the ocean and where you are.
Yep.
a lot of emus and eagles and hawks and shit we saw when we were going up to Griffith.
Yep.
It was pretty interesting.
Putting it back where it came
so
from.
that's looking good. Give us a quick insight to how that's come about? Because I thought that track wasn't ever coming back.
Yeah, we'd sort of thrown the towel in there a couple of years ago. We kept getting knocked back, and then my brother started racing again, and then I got young kids now coming through. He does. There's a few other kids that are keen, and people in there, so we all got keen again, and sort of put a bit of effort in, and getting it closer. So
Yeah, awesome.
which is
Yeah,
good
so-
because I'm sick of travelling to go every time I want to go racing.
Yeah, well, as you know, I've actually got permission to race on the track now, so we've just got to set the dates. But yeah, that track, which is a car clay track, is 10 minutes up the road from me, so that's like a Christmas present. But we won't. Yeah, we won't count our chickens just yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, nice work, mate. That's awesome. So tell us about your weekend. How was it meeting Blake and the crew in New Zealand? And
Yeah, it was good.
Your second time actually.
Yeah, yeah. No, it was good. I love that place. It's unreal. I reckon I'd go back every year if I had the opportunity to.
Yeah.
It's just a good event, like just casual. Everyone's there for a good time. Like, it's still serious. Everyone wants to win, no doubt, but it's not, like we'll explain it, it's not like here where it's so cutthroat. Everyone's happy to share info. They just want to see the sport grow. So
Do you feel that it's like that here though? Like, I think most people share a bit of info. Like, they might not give their top secrets, but I sort of feel
yes
like
and no.
everyone's
Like,
pretty
sometimes
good.
it's tough. Like, depends who you talk to, I guess. Like, I'm an open book, but then I can understand why people wouldn't want to tell me stuff either, because I've got an array of people I could go and tell as well. So
yeah,
I sort of get it, but it just depends who it is, I guess. So it's definitely more cutthroat.
It is funny. I have seen, like, I've always promoted on here how friendly our discipline is compared to other disciplines and that. But I have seen some pretty horrid politics as well, to be honest. And I don't feel there's any place for it really. But look, some people are just the way they are, wired the way they are, and they're going to be that way. You can't change people.
Yeah, that's right.
They are the
that's
way
exactly
they are.
right.
But yeah, I'm surprised. Like, well, it's been so long since I've been at home now, living permanently at home. So, but I've always been told I'm pretty mellow. So yeah, it doesn't surprise me. So it feels like a pretty cash event to be at. And
yes,
were you happy with your results, Matt? Like,
yeah,
having
like
your own bulk there and that.
Yeah, it doesn't these days, mate. I don't really get too phased where I finish, to be honest. Just happy to be there. So
yeah. And you had some good battles, and you're looking forward to the Burt. You're going down there as well in Feb?
Yeah, sure am. Yeah, it was good. Like, looking forward to just doing some fun races. Like, everything we do all year is serious, so it's good to do, like, ride for me, like myself ride. Not that I get really interested to ride these days, but go and ride and have some fun and don't care what result I get.
Yeah,
you're going to take off quite a bit down the Burt, aren't you, Matty?
Yeah, I'm going to put a big bore in, so I'll be right.
Already Park's only, is that the same size, 350, or smaller or bigger?
No, that's a big track. I think that's about
is it?
Well, big track for us. I think it's about 420.
Oh yeah, 420. Yeah, right. Yeah. No, that's an awesome event. Like, it's had different sponsors over the years, as you guys would know, and I think it was the Speedway Spectacular the 3 years I went, and just the crowd, and I think racing in front of a crowd like that's a massive part of being part of an event, and seeing people get into it and sort of spurs you on to do better, I think. And
I think the best thing about that whole event is how much the town loves all the motorcyclists being there, and the whole town is just motorcycles, whether it be cruisers or sports bikes or race bikes, and everyone's just there for the right thing. I mean, let's face it, you've travelled to the end of the world to ride your motorbike.
Well, you can be a bit more unpolite than that.
Invercargill's not the end of the world, but from the bluff where they have the hill climb, you can see it.
Yeah. Isn't it called the butthole? I thought you were being a bit.
No, I wouldn't call it butthole. I love going down there.
I love it too.
I think I've done 3 Burt Munros doing different stuff. really pissed I missed early on when they used to have the half-mile flat track, trotting track, which maybe now we're getting flat track bigger, we might be able to get back, but I don't think the trotting club wants us back. But so it's if you want to go to an event and you're a motorcyclist, the Burt Munro is a pretty awesome event, and that means if you race with your hire bike, you go down, or whether you just get a rental car and just enjoy the time. The town loves having you there. The first year I went down, the old mayor, who's a pretty famous guy in New Zealand, he met us down there and was happy to have us there.
Old Shadbolt, wasn't it?
Yeah. Tim Shadbolt. Don't care where I'm there.
Yeah, well, you would have all heard the story that I went there to race that trotting track and it got cancelled, so I bought a set of super motard wheels, and that was my first ever motard race. Was the Burt, and
so did you do the streets?
I did everything. I did the hill climb, the beach race, the street race, the sprint race. The only thing I didn't do was speedway because they didn't have a flat track class.
Yeah. Same as me.
Which was scary, you know.
There must have been, I think, the year before I went down. I think I went down in 13 for the first time.
Yeah, I think it was. We would have been there the same time then. I think it was 2012, 13, and 14. I did 3 in a row. It could have been 11, 12, 13.
Yeah, because I think the long track wasn't there at all.
Yeah, no, which was a shame. I think, and they had the sand drags a couple years, I think, and then maybe the Supercross, and dirt drags or something.
I was working for Kawasaki, so I took the bikes down for the Supercross and that. So,
yeah. So, are you, Matt Davies? Are you doing the beach race?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. And have you done one before? Have you done that one in Queensland?
No. That's I'm closer to New Zealand than that one in Queensland.
It's 2 corners, 800 meters apart. How hard can it be?
He'll find out.
Drop there.
You're gonna love that, being roosted from 500 meters. It's pretty good. I don't know who's got the internet connection problem. If it's me, Matt, or Scott, you all look frozen. Blake's moving around.
I'm all right.
We're all good.
Yeah, I'm here.
So what was the highlights from your weekend, Matt? Like going over there?
We're not allowed to say the way he
beat Yeah, Saturday night.
Did you get a bit munded?
No, I don't do that. Not at all.
No, I didn't think so.
Just the vibe around the weekend is good. Like you roll up, we start practice at 12 and we're done by 4:30. It's good. So, like I said, it's casual. Everyone's stoked for everybody as long as they're doing their best, I guess. So
not chopping your front wheel out. No one was chopping anyone's front wheel out.
Oh, not that I know of.
We didn't have.
I didn't get close enough to anyone to do.
I'm sure you're playing that down. Yeah, he's got a few internet problems, I think. It looks like he's doing it on his phone. Oh, here he is. He's back.
I'm back. I know what's going on. I didn't get close enough to do that to anybody.
You weren't too far back in the pack from what I saw. 5th, 6th. You know, that's still not too shabby.
Yeah. If I go back next year, I want to stay on the front row. I don't want to be picked at the back again.
Well, I'm gonna talk to your mates you brought over.
I'm gonna just sit. I'm just gonna sit under the tent, and then when everyone's picked their spots, I'm gonna roll over.
I'm just disappointed in my nephew. He didn't extract cash out of anyone.
Yeah.
Not be picked 12. If I would have been the Matthew Ryan telling mate, you can start on the outside, not next to me if you really want to give me some cash. And if Mick had his brains, he would have got some more cash too. So
so it's a bit.
I mean, I said this earlier in the podcast, even like that. I run the event to try and have what the experience you had, which is we turn up, we have the most fun. Everyone shakes your hand afterwards, and we go to a pub and we have a beer. I mean, motorcycle racing is expensive and stupid. I mean, seriously, we wrap ourselves around a fuel tank and go as fast as we can against each other. We're not dealing with Mensa members here. So, everyone can have a good time. Yeah, we could. Because I brought in a new rule this year that you could appeal a referee's decision.
Oh, okay.
At 11 o'clock at Waihi Beach Hotel, and you had to buy a drink for anyone that was around and convene a committee. If anyone came up to appeal a decision, I can't remember.
I think you summed it up pretty well on the Saturday night, Scotty. It was that it's not a race, it's an event.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's also, let's not forget the cause, and the person that started it off as well, and Sam, and you want to keep his memory alive and his love for racing as well. And really, from what I can gather, that's what it's all about, that one. The Burt Munro is in a similar vein, but different, a longer period of time behind that one. But yeah, I sort of think it sounds like you're hitting your goal target from what Matt's saying. If it's just a cool event to go to and be part of, and not take it too seriously, and I'd hate it to be ruined, obviously. If we did do a sort of competitive New Zealand versus Australia or something like that, it's probably better to be at a different event, to be honest, and just keep this one in the vein that it's meant to be. Good time, guys racing a discipline that I really do feel, even though, like Matt was saying, it can get a bit cutthroat here sometimes, a bit of politics can get in the way. But a discipline that really does embrace mateship and helping each other out and just doing the best you can and getting the best results you can, no matter what level you're at. And a photo that really got me, it sounds a bit weird, but got me excited was one that Tony Cutler put up. And Tony's a big influence in flat track over there as well. And you can see the difference between the seating positions between Blake, Wayne Drake and Tony. And I think, if he looks at that long enough, he'll learn, and you better watch out. He'll end up twisting the throttle and having a bit more weight over the front wheel, and he'll cut a couple seconds. So I think, it looks like an awesome crew to be part of, and you guys, since been watching you, probably. You said this is the 7th one, so it's over 7 years ago.
The original one that Sam ran was 2015, and then then the first of the other ones was 2019. So first of the remake was 2019.
Memorials, yeah.
Where we had the Saturday Memorial and all that. So no, I agree with it. I can't say enough to Tony. Tony's really pulled the South Island into this. Wayne Drake lit the fire, and Tony did the hard work in the background with the clubs and then behind them and that as well. So Wayne and Tony's why we've got it in the South Island. And Rite probably haven't gained the club members we really hoped, but it's started to earn him like that. So, I did a speech a few years ago at the Academy Champs, and I managed to actually have a win, or probably my last one ever at my age. But I said we wanted to add something to Motorcycle Speedway in New Zealand, and I really think Flat Track has. We now have more members of Speedway New Zealand solo bikes do.
Awesome.
Which is in some ways sad, because solos have such a history in New Zealand with Major and Briggs and Ronnie Moore. But I think we're providing enough members to keep it going so they can have a future in that as well, because it was dying without it. So,
Well, I'm pretty sure at the Burt for the last 2 years running, the flat track class has been the biggest class, not just of the Speedway, but of the whole event.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. Yeah.
So what numbers are we? Yeah, okay.
I think we're 27, something like that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, well, I think they both sort of feed each other. I know guys that have gotten into dirt track or flat track and decided to give Speedway a go. Okay, they're not going to go international or anything because they're older when they're starting, but yeah, I think it does sort of feed each other. It is a more so the 1919s is a lot closer tie to Speedway, like as far as track prep and all that sort of stuff. I imagine for you guys over there, 100%, as we're over here, we do have dirt track and sand granite tracks that they do prep differently for dirt track. Matt, just want to pull you in so you're not sitting on your car on your own there looking lonely. What would you say to any Aussies over here that want to go and give the Sam Smith Clay Classic a crack?
Go for it. I spoke to a couple of people today and said that. I was like, it is like looking for a fun event to do at the end of the year. Like, it is the event to go to. Even just location, holiday, all that sort of stuff. It's so good. And like, even I was talking to Matt Drain this afternoon, and I said, "Oh, you guys should go over there." There was a kid riding a 450 at 15 there yesterday. On Saturday, sorry. I said, Sam's going to be nearly 16 next year. I said,
Fuckers, Mark Galbraith and the rest of the boys are going to fucking hate me if you guys bring him.
yeah. Like, he's like, oh, yeah. Like, I didn't say yes, but I sort of explained to him, like, that it's a good event. So,
yeah.
I'm pretty sure I'll get him a Yamaha. I know a bike.
Yeah.
Let's commit early. We'll get him a Yamaha.
Yeah.
I do want to say one thing, and I want to say one thing. If you want to come to the Burt from Aussie, come races on 19s.
Yes.
I'm not going
100%.
to change the rules because we talked about this because we want the rules to be safe so we can bring any moto guy over to race on 18s. But if you've made a career racing on an 18-inch trials tire in Australia, you're really good. You're going to kick our ass on an 18-inch trials tire. Come races on 19s.
Yeah, I think that's do what everybody else is doing. Don't ruin the event.
Yeah, I want a gentleman's agreement.
Yes.
Yeah, sounds good to me. Yeah.
And even if you're a vet and you find you got a mate in Invercargill with a bike and you're a vet and you race an 18-inch, we're not going to ban you because we want you to race. So if you're a top guy, you run dirt track titles and anything like that, come races on 19s.
I forgot that was a rule in New Zealand that you can race on an 18 at most events, can't you? But I didn't actually realise that was one in the Burt Munro. Just can't do the 19s.
I mean, Damien and Luke were so quick on 18s, and I got a bit of a wake-up call. I didn't realise they were that much quicker. But I saw how quick those tyres wore out, and we don't want to be buying 3 tyres immediately. We want to go that. So if you want to come over here, come races on 19s, we'll help you find a bike, and we'll help you find wheels.
Yeah,
that's just
I think the good thing at the moment with that,
gentleman's agreement, because we don't want to keep 18s because the guy that turns up just to have a go on his XC300 with an 18-inch tyre, we don't want to ban him. We need him as well.
Yeah.
So that's just my call to especially with the Burt. We're going to be limited on numbers. We're always going to limit on numbers. If you want to come race us on 19s.
So you're saying they can ride a 2118?
Yeah.
Yep. Do they have what's the tyres specifications? Could you change it so that it had to be like K180s or something like that? Or
we could, but it's complicated. We got to go through a diplomatic process with Speedway New Zealand, and
righto.
I've done it enough anyway. I'm sorry I didn't get kill switches banned completely. Tether switches banned completely. If you bring a carbureted bike, you need a tethered switch.
Yeah,
not pretty close. But it's we have our own politics here. So, but I want to say, especially the good guys, if you want to come race us on 19s.
Sounds fair. What were you trying to say there, Blake?
Yeah, I mean, we've left, I think, the rules pretty open for that. I guess because flat track here is still so quite new, so you want to leave it so the guy with the 18-inch tyre can just chuck a speedway tyre on a K180 and come and have a go and leave his 21 in, just so he can come and at least feel it out, see if it's what he likes. If we make those rules 19-inch, that's what it is right off the bat. That makes it a little bit harder for the guy that wants to come and try it out, see if it's what he likes. He's got to go all in, see if that's his cup of tea, spend a couple of grand. So we've left it pretty flexible. And like Scotty said, it is a gentleman's agreement between a lot of us. Like, we do run a separate 19-inch series, which we race at the car tracks. And that's the idea behind that one. And that's a promoter's agreement. That's nothing to do with a speedway rule or anything like that. It's just 19-inch flat track tyres. That's what it is. But that's the tyre that you generally want to be on those clay car tracks anyway.
Yeah. So do you hear that, Matt? No turning up with a Michelin.
I don't even have an 18-inch wheel anymore.
That's good to hear. I'm glad to hear that.
I've got to take the bike down for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. So you've got no chance anyway.
No.
Look, I still swear by the 19s. I reckon they're a lot more fun. But But that's just me. Yeah, so awesome. Thanks for coming on, guys. I'm not sure what else we could cover now. Expectations for New Zealand flat track would be a question. Either one of
I
you.
said this in the last time, and I haven't got any closer to it. But I'd love to have 3 Clay Classic type events a year. The Waihi one, Sam Smith, maybe one in the middle of North Island. I know a track I want to go to. And maybe one in the South Island where we have 3, and then to race with Speedway New Zealand where we can, and that as well. I mean, when we got to race at Western Springs, Western Springs is a world famous circuit. I mean, me and Blake go watch a lot of sprint cars and midgets there, and to race here was a bucket list item.
Yeah,
I think the first night we got in there, Scotty,
to buy a midget car and afford what it cost there, but I know it meant a lot to Sam to race his TQ there, and then for us to race bikes there was really cool. And we get to race at Wairarapa Park, which will be the new Homer Speedway in Auckland, and then to go to places like Wanganui, and you get 3,000 people there. I mean, how many do you get 3,000 people in there? And that's on an average Saturday night. And the clubs, when we do the same theory we did to Matt, we make it easy for the clubs to run us. We bring our own scrutineer. A couple of us have got a scrutineer license, even like that. We make it easy for them. And the boys got to race at Wellington last year at Tamara Speedway, and I think we're going to a few other places this year, and it's really, really cool. And unfortunately, those car speedways have gone away from solo bike tracks. They used to run cinders and be able to run solos there, but they run clay now, and they can't run solo bikes here. But we can run flat track bikes.
Yeah.
And I was talking to Matthew Ryan about this and how Speedway New Zealand has a rule you can't charge the entry fee. It's like, well, how do you pay for the meeting? It's like, well, the spectators pay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, we get to race.
Yeah, so different than over here.
New Zealand's road race don't really get to do a lot. So yeah, we got a pretty cool setup here, and as I say, like if you want to come race with us on 19th.
I think that's been the good thing as well with us, like all of these new car tracks that we've got into. Every single car track that we've been to, they've all said afterwards, anytime you guys want to come back, not a problem. Just let us know. We'll find a spot for you on our schedule. And I think it's because we're just easy to slot in between the car races. We're 2 or 3 minutes on track per heat. It's quick fire. There's no push cars to get us out and laps after laps getting in order. It's just quick fire, and the crowds have seemed to really enjoy the racing. It's not single file, follow the leader. There's just battles happening all over the place. So for us, I think it's been really good for the sport being able to go to these tracks and race in front of decent crowds. Like I think one of the nights, the last time we raced at Western Springs at the start of this season was the same night as the New Zealand Sprint Car Grand Prix. So we got a bloody good crowd. And we get live streams at a lot of those races as well, which really helps us with our exposure and growing the class.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic. What do you, Matt? What do you take from the? I don't know if you take anything, but what do you take from the logistical side of racing in New Zealand? Like, did you find it easy with? Did the guys set you all up with your license and that sort of stuff, like compared to here? Or
no, I haven't had to do
any
of that yet. I've still got to work all that out for the Burt. So, that sort of stuff. I'm not.
Yeah, and that's because the Smith, the Clay Classic, that's a black flag event, isn't it, Scott?
Yes.
So you didn't have to worry about that stuff. Yeah, right.
Matty, I'll Facebook message you and tell you what you got to do, and you got to make a decision, because if you want to race a lot of the Burt, it's probably easy to get a Motorcycle New Zealand license. And then the Speedway is different because Speedway New Zealand, and we have our own politics. And I'm not saying we're perfect, but yeah, I know. I'm a race provider. I'm a politician. I've been on the board of Motorcycle New Zealand. I'm on the Motorcycle Subcommittee of Speedway New Zealand, so we can make it work.
Yeah. That's easy.
Yeah, and as I say, it's a lot easier to go Australia to New Zealand. It is going the other way because of insurance issues, and yeah.
So how long was that drive from the track to your house? That felt like about 6 minutes or something.
Yeah, 5 minutes.
Close.
Yeah, pretty close. Everything's pretty close to you, mate.
He doesn't have to go around the bay. It's not like there's any water around there.
No, that's right. Just do a couple of zig and zags and I'm home. So
yeah, nice. Yeah. Well, my until I get Red Line fully happening, my closest track's 2.5 hours.
Yeah. Well,
Pain
yeah,
in the ass.
Hey,
we're pretty
Blake,
lucky here. Like we got a
Blake,
few here.
tell them how many tracks within 2.5 hours drive your track. Just speedway tracks.
Oh, what? 2.5 hours? There's probably 5, 6.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Yeah. And do you have a practice track, Blake? Have I seen videos of you on a practice track?
I've got a little wee peewee oval down the back at home that's completely overgrown at the moment. So yeah, normally we'd have that pretty well prepped up, but the young fella's not riding this year, so I've sort of let that one go a little bit. But normally that's us. In the pre-season, we'll do a little bit more then. But before this Clay Classic, I think we had, what was it, Scotty? One club day that we've had. So our season's only literally just kicking off now.
Yeah.
Because we're not hot as fuck over here, we run through summer.
Yeah.
So yeah, winter's like it rains a lot. That's why we're so green. So yeah, so the Speedway New Zealand season runs 1st of October through the end of July. But there's not
And
many.
we do race a lot at night as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I love nighttime racing. I want to see more of that over here. Dirt
Yeah.
track. So not flat track. Aussie dirt track runs generally during the day. Not always. There are night events, but predominantly during the day. But definitely with the car tracks I'm trying to get going, they're all going to be night meetings. Yeah, it's the right climate around here for that, and people like coming out at night time because there's not heaps to do out here. Go to the movies, maybe go to the pub, that sort of thing. But yeah, they all turn up. So my local car track, which is like 12 minutes up the road, they on a just a bog standard stock car meeting get about 1,000 people turn up. So they're pretty confident those people will be interested in the bike. So it's looking really promising for us as well.
Yeah,
and hopefully,
I would find like we've been to those meetings and that, and especially the casual fans really love the bikes. And we've been to big meetings over here for those are the fireworks meetings and the demolition derbies. And we've been on that brings in the casual crowd, and I call them the tragics. And we've got motocross tragics and flat track tragics, and the speedway tragics really don't like us because they're not cars or sprint cars. But the casuals love us because I like the change. And I've been into the crowd, see my parents, even like that. Because a lot of times you're not there in the hot pits and everything like that, and they're like saying, "Oh, we love this." And they love the wheelies afterwards. And I would say, if you're at a car meeting, go do some wheelies on the warm down there because I fucking love it. Yeah.
So when you were at Western Springs and that, did you have like a display tent with a few bikes and up around spectators area or anything like that, so they could come and talk to you and that? Or
most pits in New Zealand at Speedway meetings are open pits, so we'll all be parked together and everything like that. So we sort of do have that, although we don't have a dedicated display, we do have that sort of set up. And you'll get the odd fuckwit coming up and saying, "Oh, this is not Wheel Speedway," and I was like, "Well, what is Wheel Speedway?" I mean, my flat track bike is probably closer to a 1929 Solo than the current Solo is.
Yeah, thank you. I was actually going to say, well, it's pretty much what we're doing is the oldest form of motorsport. So
exactly.
It's when automobiles, 4 wheels and 2 wheels, were invented. They started going in circles and seeing how fast they could go. So, and there's plenty of documentaries and documents stating that. So I think they can go and fuck themselves. Yeah. There's some awesome YouTube videos about board racing and that, and it's really amazing how that developed. You know, starting from bicycle racing, and then they put a motor in a bike to lead the cyclists, and then they're going, "Hey, this is actually quite cool," and then they started getting that motor to go faster and faster, and then started racing those instead. You know, so
board track racing is probably the most nuts form of motorsport that ever invented.
Pretty insane. Yeah. If you're a listener and you haven't watched those documentaries, go and watch them because
Murder Dimes.
Oh, the amount of timber and that they brought in to make them as well, it's just insane. But yeah, it was obviously too dangerous, and that's why it finished up. But
and you haven't lived till you've run into a concrete wall, mate.
Yeah, and hopefully you're still living. Look, actually, I wasn't going to get into this sort of stuff, but you sort of pointed in that direction. Do you think concrete walls are any more dangerous than like a suspension wall? Because my opinion is probably not.
They all
Funny,
hurt.
the first few times that we went to the car tracks, it was the first thing that everyone talks about is, oh shit, that's a big concrete wall, and you're grazing the thing as you're going down the straights because it's not a problem. But by the time you get to the corners, because they're car tracks, they're 18, 20 meters wide, you actually realise, shit, that wall's a hell of a long way away actually, and to make that wall there, you've got to have done something pretty bad. Like one of the tracks we go to in Wanganui, they put a 45 with concrete all the way along the bottom of it. And I think I was following one of the boys, Jason Davis, on one of the laps at last year's North versus South, and he cocked it up something chronic coming into the corner and ended up at a good angle and just rode halfway up this concrete wall.
There's a same at Ruapuna when Johnny Brassel's got that photo of him. He's
up the wall. Yeah. And it was good because I didn't really notice until that. I thought, oh, that's actually a good idea. And by the time the feature rolled around, I sort of did my outlap, had a look, and I was like, oh, there's actually a good berm here. And then for the feature, just ran the wall every lap, and it was a pass a lap, always around that corner. And the club message, or they rung me in that off season, he said, oh, we've put a 45 right round turn 3 and 4 as well. So he said, you'll have to come back next year and run the wall the whole way around.
Wow, so they actually thought it was good. Yeah, didn't say
they loved it.
They didn't do it for him.
They didn't do it for us, but they'd only just done turn 1 and 2, and they said it was on the card. So he said, "No, you'll have to come back and try it because we've done the whole track now." So we'll be back there this season as well, which is cool.
A lot of the Aussies won't understand stock car racing in New Zealand because stock car racing in New Zealand is full contact.
Right.
And tell you what, the night we're in Wanganui, what Blake's talk about, a lot of even the flat track boys have never seen a stock car teams race. The stock car teams racing is 4 on 4 first across the line. And they send out blockers. And until you've seen someone with a $70,000 race car turn hard right into someone else in a $70,000 race car, pretty impressive. And the boys are talking, these guys make us look sensible.
So it's sort of like roller derby with motors.
At least we've only got a $13,000 fucking motocross bike with a flat wheels on it, and these guys are going to kill each other over that. And so if you ever want to see a motorsport event, Palmy North Stock Car Teams Champs is something that you'll only ever see in New Zealand because of the insurance rules we've got.
Yeah, I know.
And it's Stock Car Teams racing is a pretty unbelievable experience. And to be one of my dreams is that we get a flat track event at the Stock Car Teams Nationals, which sells out a year in advance. And every hotel in the North sells out a year in advance. And I don't think it's beyond the realm of possibility that Bruce, who's a promoter there, who we race at a couple of his other tracks, will get us in there one night. And
But how do you go with like the track? Like, does it rip up a lot more of the cars? Like,
it's a lot rougher.
Wales in it, or
it's a lot rougher, and there's good nights and bad nights. There's been the first night I raced at Western Springs. I've been at Harrisville on smoother first turns, and Harrisville's a motocross track.
Yeah,
And I went up to Jonathan Allard, who's an American guy, they call him the 3 times Killer California, really good American sprint car driver who married a Kiwi girl and lives out here now. And he was really into us, flat tracks. He goes, there's a guy we used to race, and when it got slick, we couldn't touch him. He said that boy just could find traction anywhere because he was a mile flat track racer, was used to doing that. And he said, he loved us being there. And Blake's got a lot of friends that race midgets and sprint cars and that as well. And they all loved us being there. He always said, he told me that night, he said, no, this is even rough for us. So when the tracks are bad, they're bad. And you can't run any corner speed. But when they're good, they're flat and they're really good.
And what about Rosebank? How's that going? That's ticking along? Yeah,
Rosebank had a little bit of issues. I thought because it's council-owned property and they just got a new 10-year lease, so we've just got a new renewal. And I think the club's been in the best position I've known since I started racing here in, I think, 2018 or 2019. The club's in a really good position. Brian, he's really pulled everyone together between the open wheel guys, the speedway guys and all that. And I really fear we had a really tragic loss with the top solo rider from Auckland, got killed in a car crash a couple of weeks ago. And he'd raced a Clay Classic and kind of stuff through Ryan Terry Daly. And it was a really tragic loss for solos in New Zealand because he was the last really top North Island guy that did every event. But the track itself and the sidecar guys and the flat track guys, it's in a probably better place it's been in 5 years.
Yeah, awesome. Blake, what's your favourite track in New Zealand? Like, if an Aussie's coming over, what track would you say you got to go to?
Ooh, I think we've definitely grown that list of good tracks. I'd say Waihe's definitely.
We've lost something.
I'll do my ones before he comes back. So if you're going to
All right,
come to the Clay Classic or the Burt,
Yeah.
for the track, for me, Rite is probably still the best because I love the shale tracks better. I love putting the foot down and having losing the front
a
end.
little bit loose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where the clay tracks aren't as much fun for me. Like, I've always loved sliding a bike. Like, I think
Yeah.
one of the most fun days you can do, I don't know if you can do this in Australia, but we get to go down some deserted beaches and just go do circles see how many circles you can do with your feet up. And that's so the bike tracks I love, like Moore Park's really cool, but how fast Rite is really cool. But yeah. It's the Burt, just because how fucking cool the whole weekend is. And you're gonna love it. If you love the Clay Classic, we're gonna do that. And that's one of the reasons why we do the Clay Classic. And as Blake said, it's an event. It's not just a race meeting. It's an event.
We're having some internet issues here.
What did you do, Dusty?
I actually haven't done anything. I finished my stout like 20 minutes ago and hanging for another one.
I've been filling up the whole time.
Yeah, I thought you were. I thought that looked like Coke and bourbon.
Yeah. So no.
Bourbon and Coke. Yeah.
So anyway, just if you're interested, get hold of me on Facebook. We'll make it happen. Same with Matthew Ryan, Billy's old man. Local bike shop. I mean, they bought a bike, so it was pretty good. The bike shop put it up. They changed everything over at the bike shop. I'm taking the bike into them and put it on display with the trophy and everything like that. So Kiwis are pretty accommodating. If you treat us well, we'll treat you well. So
awesome. Yeah. This is going to seem a bit odd, but I've got to go for a leak. Just give me 2 seconds.
I've already been for 2
Makes yourself. Tell everyone what track you like, Blake.
What's yours, Scotty?
I said I like the bike tracks better, and I said Moore Park and Rite. I said favourite event is either Clay Classic or the Burt because they're going to brought up, and I like the shale tracks better than the clay track, so I like Rite and Moore Park.
I'd say Moore Park's got to be up there. Every time I've been there, it's been really consistent. It's always, I think it's a track that always throws up good racing more than anything else. Like there's plenty of room for passing. You can run the thing all the way up to the wall. You can run the pole line. It's good for that. For me, I think the motocross guys with the motocross background tend to like the clay ones a bit more. So I'd say mine would be probably Gisborne or Wellington.
Yeah, I haven't been to Wellington, so I don't know. Oh, no, I haven't been to Wellington.
You rode there on a motard, didn't you?
Yeah, on a motard, yeah. So
that's interesting. Why do motocross guys like clay better? I thought they would like sort of looser stuff better.
See, I disagree with Blake, and my home club, and people know me from being Pukekohe, but I fucking hated Pukekohe. I always did shit there. Mainly because half the time I was trying to run the meeting as well, or got involved in shit.
Oh, well, that doesn't help, yeah.
I was the opposite. I love being able to put my foot down and hold the front up and like that. And like Pukekohe tracks, I love Mercer. Mercer was, we go back to motocross, Mercer was a sand track.
Yeah.
Road, unfortunately, is no longer around due to some political shit. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to going back to Tamara at Wellington, and we've got a double header weekend. We should probably tell Matty, those guys, yes, I want to come back for a weekend.
I have, yeah, and I think Matty was looking at penciling that one, because our 3-round tri-series this year, which is for the 19-inch, that'll be run over 2 weekends. But for any of the guys wanting to come over, you'll potentially end up getting 5 races in the space of 8 days. Yeah. So it'll be across 4 different tracks, which will be pretty damn cool.
Yeah, that's
we'll
cool.
be down in Christchurch Easter weekend. We're hoping to be Woodford Glen on the Friday night, and then we've got a double header at Moore Park on the Saturday and Sunday, and then we'll be up to Wellington the Saturday night the following weekend, and then Wanganui on the Sunday for the final of the tri series.
That sounds awesome. When's that? Sorry,
so that'll be Easter weekend and the following weekend. So I have got the dates here. We haven't put it up on the page yet, but it is all locked in.
So 2026,
right.
yeah?
Yep, that's the one. So it will be the first weekend.
So
will be
I
the
would,
third.
I'm always keen to come over, but that actually might work a bit better because February's, yeah, like I said, I would have had a few weeks off without any pay. So,
yeah, that'll be the third,
Just got to
fourth, and
remember,
fifth.
you got to remember it's autumn New Zealand. We could have 5 rainouts, so just be prepared.
yeah.
But don't worry, we'll have some nights in a pub. And yeah,
Well, yeah, that's right. Well, I went all the way to bloody Netherlands and got rained out, didn't I? So,
well, we did. We drove down to Easter this. I think it was April this year, April or March, and we got rained out 2 nights. So we pretty much drove down there.
Did you? So one of the reasons I'm pretty keen on this is, so my grandparents live in Kaipoi. Well, lived in Kaipoi when they were alive. And we used to walk to Wolford Glen and watch the stock cars and demolition derbies and that all the time. So to get to race there would be, yeah, fucking fantastic.
So yeah,
how did you get on there? Because have they ever had bikes? I don't think they would have that.
I don't think they had. So I've been in contact with them. One of the guys on the committee is actually an ex-motocrosser, and he races a saloon now. So he put me in contact with the promoter. He said they haven't 100% confirmed it yet, but they said for us December lock it in. But the thing that we've got is because we're racing 2 nights down at Moore Park, if Woodford Glen can't pull through, we've got a point scoring option of running at Moore Park anyway. Yeah. So that's not a problem.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah. And yeah, I agree with you. Moore Park was a cool track. I don't know about consistent because it did change. But yeah, I've only ridden there once, so I like to go back.
See, I actually think that's the greatest thing about how we do it over here is how much it changes. Right?
Yeah, well, that's to me that's flat track. Like it's road racing until it rains. The track's sort of predictable, and you get your marks, and yeah, obviously then it comes into horsepower bike, all that sort of stuff. But dirt track, the track actually changes so much.
You get 5 different tracks in a night.
Yeah, that's right. Like from one race to the next race, they prep it, and for some reason it's different the next time. And especially Australian dirt tracks, the 2118 stuff, that's a lot more so than the Australian flat track. The flat tracking on our deeper tracks, they're sort of prepping it just a little bit deeper than you would for speedway, possibly. Yeah, so they're staying pretty consistent and good. But then you got the oil tracks, and I'm sure the oil tracks because down here we've got loose tracks, and they've always been pretty deep, and we'll get ruts and holes and be bumpy and fucking pretty horrible. So I'm a bit with Scott. I like a shale or a sort of loose track where I can put a foot down, stomp my foot down, and put all the weight on the front and slide the 2 wheels together, sort of thing. As where oil tracks is a little bit more backing it in like a Modard and brake, then release the brakes and go through the corners, roll through the corner as quick and hard as you can without hitting too sideways. And I'm not really down to that yet. Although the last rounds of AFTN, I may not have. I scored points and I wanted the top 10 in the Clubman, which is actually. I argue it's as competitive as the Pro 450 class at the moment because of the way they're running it. And anyone can go and look at the times and we'll see that. I missed out by 2 spots, but I was pretty happy about that because it was on oil and I really was going and shitting my pants, to be honest. Thinking I'm not even going to qualify. But that's the great thing about track is on dirt surfaces, they really do change a lot. And where we're going next week in Gunnedah, last year I was racing the Harley there, and it was the first time all the locals said that track's ever broken up, and it was actually quite different than not a normal oil track, and that's because they had a bit of rain and sort of humid weather for a few weeks beforehand, so it changed the track again. But yeah, you just don't get that sort of track change in road racing, and I suppose I haven't done motocross, so I suppose in motocross you would. To me, that's one of the major challenging factors of flat track is trying to conquer the track on the day. So
yeah, me and Blake grew up at a place called Harrisville, which is a motocross track in New Zealand. And back in the day when boys knew how to water, or boys didn't know how to water, didn't know how to rip, you get 3 tracks in one day. No,
I think generally
the
that track
track is the change.
I remember for Harrisville, for for a motocross track, if you'd nearly have to get it muddy to the point where you could nearly not get around it in practice for it to be a perfect racetrack during the day.
I remember when you were a young up and coming motocross rider, if you didn't ride practice, I knew I got the track right.
Yep. I think I even raced in Auckland Champs and skipped practice altogether and just took last gate pick and race one, whole shot from the outside, and we were good. But I was lucky enough. I'd done that many laps around there. It was, you knew your way around there.
So most of your flat track events, you don't have practice. Is that right? Or
Most
is that
of the
different?
New Zealand events, if you're lucky, you get 2 laps before the first heat.
Yeah. Well, I actually quite like that. Like when I went to Moore Park, at first I sort of went, oh, shit. Oh, well, we'll find out, because I'd never been on the bike, borrowed bike, all that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's different when you get a borrowed bike, because I raced.
Well,
I raced
I don't know.
Speedway, and I used to hate it because I couldn't get my head sorted out.
Yeah.
But now there, as long as we get 2 laps, you can hit both corners with speed. And when you're driving it,
I was the same. I hated it to start with. I was so, you come from that motocross background, that model of 10 or 15 minutes and work your way into it. But that first couple of seasons of Speedway, getting your head around that was quite different. But now I'm the same as Scotty. As long as I can cruise the first lap, send it in the second lap, see what grip you got, happy days.
Yeah.
So disadvantage of not paying an entry fee is you're the entertainment, and entertain from lap 1. So that's why we run formats where you got to pass bikes. So Blake will start at least one event off the back, and he's got to pass some bikes.
Yeah, well, I actually enjoyed that no practice. It was a bit of an eye opener, and it sort of makes me think. Now I'm designing my own events and that as well. Is do we really need practice? Like we need qualifying, because the way I'm structuring it, that's instead of having a pro 450 and a clubman and whatever, it's basically all in.
Can I ask? And I always like this because I put a lot of thought into the form event.
Yeah.
Why do you need to qualify? And why don't you do what we do with 2 heats, 1 grid and reverse? Make people pass.
Well, you could do that. So what I'm aiming to do is have so I'm not going to make a twins class, a 450 class, a 250 class, or anything like that. It's everyone in. You do your qualifying, and then by your speeds, you put into pro, amateur, and novice.
You're into groups.
Yeah, into your groups, and then you race those groups. Or I haven't decided because I haven't sat down and worked out total timing yet, but it's probably going to be 3 heats and then a main. But everyone that qualified will be in that main. They've already qualified for it, but that's just going to be where the main awards awarded for that night, for that round, and then the points will be calculated up for the series.
Yeah,
that's the very rough outlay anyway. So it's a little bit different again from you guys, and a little bit different again from Australian Flat Track Nationals as well. But one of the major things I don't like about, and don't get me wrong, I love AFTN, and I love all the work Dave Maddox put in to get it happening, and the way they're presenting it, everything like that. But I don't like the qualifying. You can enter Clubman or Pro 450, and Clubman, the top 10 guys, mid-A group times. And I know times and actual racecraft are different. And like when you're actually in the race, they might not place in those positions. But it doesn't quite sit right with me. It could just be a title thing too, because Clubman to me is a amateur rider, It's where these guys are running the pro time.
That's why when we have 30 bikes, we're doing, and we're already planning for 40 bikes and 50 bikes. Where we run my thing was, and we run a clay class. We give you 3 practices. They're only 5 laps, and you haven't got a lot of time between them. But it was an introduction to flat track. So that was part of my plan was. You have got a lot of riding, so you get 3 practices, you get 2 heats, and you get a main. At least. So you get 6 rides.
Yeah.
And you go to moto, you get 3 rides or 4 rides with a practice.
Yeah, righto.
Yeah.
How long do motos go for over there? So like motocross.
Most motors are 10 minutes plus a lap, unless
Yeah, right.
they'll have a pro class that'll be 20 plus a lap, which is what our motocross nationals are.
So, Blake, honest answer here: are you more fucked after flat track or motocross? I know it's been a while since you probably.
He raced moto 2 weeks ago.
I raced the vets class at motocross at MX Fest 2 weeks ago, but they weren't too bad. They were only about 6 lap races, so they were pretty reasonable. But no, normally flat track not a problem. But after the Clay Classic, I think with us this year having North versus South races, you've got obviously your 3 practices, 2 heats, pole shuffle, 2 North versus South, A main, semi, Clay Classic Memorial. It was like 11 stints on track. I was absolutely wrecked by the end of the day. I think in the main event, about 3 laps in, I was gassed and had arm pump, and I've never had arm pump on a flat track bike before. So
wow.
that was a first for me.
If you want to feel old, the kid who used to help out in the KX80 when he was 8 years old claims he's tired from racing vets racing. Makes you feel old. I've known Blake for a long, long time, and I used to own a motorbike shop, and when I took over, he was one of the sponsored riders, and really good kid, and I've got a lot of time for Blake and his old man.
Does it feel strange? Oh, he's probably always called you a kid, but does it
we've
feel
been through
strange?
A lot of stuff. A lot of stuff we can't talk about on here because.
Why not? This isn't like, we're not on a commercial station or anything. You can say whatever.
Safe place.
Blake, do you want to talk about this?
It's a safe place.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, you guys could say when we were talking off here that there was a lot of stories you wouldn't mention.
No.
I think maybe we should dive into Saturday night at the hotel.
The stories he knows make Saturday night look average.
Yeah, right.
Just be a good story for the Waihi pub next year.
The Facebook podium post, I did see you announce we'll see you at the pub shortly or something it was.
Yeah. I've always been more in favour of a good time than a long race. So, yeah.
I think we probably had a good sort of 50 or 60 of the guys from the track that day all stayed in town, hung behind afterwards, came down to the local pub for a feed and a few beers. So it was bloody good. We pretty much took over the place. So.
And it's actually really good because it's probably a slow weekend. It was just after Labor weekend, which is a holiday weekend. And there's not a lot of people on Waihi Beach that weekend. So Airbnbs are pretty easy to get. And
plenty of accommodation. Everyone pretty much just books Airbnbs. Group of people.
How I didn't go into this, but how do you publicise the event? And you're finding you're getting more and more spectators, or?
Well, we're a little bit down on the because spectators have got as a donation, so we don't charge. No, I don't know if that's economy related because New Zealand's economy has not been that great this year. Getting a little bit better, but I don't know if it's because of that or because we had less spectators, but. Our rider numbers were a little bit down, 3, 4, 5 numbers down, especially in the other classes. Our DCX numbers were up, best we've ever had.
So it's good numbers in that class.
We mostly publicise it through Instagram and Facebook, especially Facebook, the NZFT New Zealand Flat Track page. And I actually had a sponsor come to me and said, I don't think it was well publicised this year. And it's like, well, I've done the same thing I've done the last 3 years, so maybe we need to get away from that. And we've had good buy-in from the Speedway car community. One of the big Speedway pages, Blake Speedway, came to Rosebeck Road the first weekend and put posts up and like that. And I know McGaw's website, which is a big forum, forums are dying off, but one of the big guys from there, he came to the event and was posting results all day. And so it's hard I almost felt we were up, but we seem to be down. So, but I think that's a lot of economy related. Where people used to give $10, they give $5 now.
Right. I see what you're saying. Yeah. And tell me, I know you guys are up north, not down south, but what's the go with Ellesmere? Are they actually holding races there? Because that's a clay track, isn't it?
They are. It's clay bank track. It's really, if you get a chance, it'll be the same day. But I almost think it's overdone. Like, we need to go back to running 3 or 4 events a year. And I apologise to Tony because this is off the cuff, but they almost offer us too many events, so people just say no.
Okay.
Yeah. But Ellesmere, I think we need to go back there and run 3 or 4 events a year rather than trying to run every time.
Yeah.
And Ellesmere runs a little bit in the middle between black tracks and normal tracks. So
Yeah, righto.
and to be fair, like Ellesmere's facility, you don't think it's a black track. It would be almost Speedway New Zealand.
Oh, the track itself is
The
pretty
track
awesome.
itself and the wall and everything like that, and the pits and all that. You don't feel like a black track. Like I don't know from inside the Waihi Beach, but Waihi Beach feels like a black track.
Yeah, righto.
Yeah, and I'm trying to be politician here. I don't mean evil by black track.
Oh, yeah, not upsetting anyone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, it's a privilege to ride on any track, whether it's a backyard track or
I agree.
black track or like. I was actually really bummed not to get to race in Nautilus in Netherlands because that was a pop-up track next to a Kawasaki shop in this tiny little country town. It was like, it was like riding in my own backyard when I very first started my track, and it was a little bit raw because it hasn't had time to bed in and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, I was hanging out to ride that, and plus we're on the Royal Enfield 450s. And they were pretty much stock standard, and that had a jump in it. It was awesome. Yeah, it was really. They were really rude to ride. Like, it was going to be a lot of fun. I was hanging to actually do a bit of competition instead of just some skill based stuff on it. But unfortunately, the heavens opened up like they are now outside, and shattered everyone's dreams. So they had a big circus tent which we sat in, drank a few beers, and watched the movie Angels of Dirt from America. They were there showing that. So that was pretty cool. So I mean, like you say, you got to appreciate the event of the events or the meeting. It's not just all about the racing.
I've been to South Island and been rained out 2 nights in a row and come home with Supercross back in the day. I don't recommend going to a pub and doing wheel stands down the road afterwards, but it's another story.
But hey, it created memories.
Yeah. At least the fucking millennial bug didn't happen, so we didn't get that fucked up. So, yeah.
Right. How do you put up with him, Blake?
He's known me for a long time.
Nah, it's very, long time. I know how Scotty operates.
And I can see you're pretty modest, Blake. Are you I don't actually. Scott will be able to answer this, I'm sure, because I don't have all those stats. But are you the most winningest rider in New Zealand in flat track?
Yes.
So yes, I actually saw. I have got all our stats, and because we're still quite new, we've got a bit of a list and sort of compiled. We've got everyone, how many feature winners we've got. I think we've got the Auckland Champs this weekend, and I'm currently sitting on 29 features. So fingers crossed this weekend goes well, because number 30 would be quite nice. I think Mark is sitting second with 11.
11, yeah. And I think I'm about touched with about 4.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So what's the plan to pull more riders in for flat track in New Zealand?
Just do what we do.
Keep doing what you're doing. Yeah.
Just be the most fun type of motorsport ever. Like,
I think what we've done this year, getting rid of that.
We've sort of got a plan to pull in some of the lower North Island boys, and we need a bit of buy-in from the car tracks and all that. But if we try and force it, it won't happen.
Yeah.
We've got to grow organically.
Yeah.
My thing anyway, and I'm pretty sure Blake will be similar on titles. We want the most fun place to race. And if you want to go win titles, you want to go make money, there's lots of other races to do. If you want to go be a superbike rider or a solo rider or a motocross rider, you can do that. You want to come and have fun with us, and I'll guarantee you have the most fun you'll do. Come with us.
100%.
Yeah, right. Awesome. Yeah.
And that's the thing. I think when there's an event on or something like that, if we're going down to Gisborne to race there or Wanganui, you'll never ever find everyone, 10 guys going down taking 10 vehicles. It'll be, righto, I'm going down, here's the trailer, who's jumping in, and it's 6 guys going together and making a trip of it, It's
and a lot of us have families, so maybe you put your bike in, you take your car, your family car with that.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm actually next weekend. My bikes game with Gary Ratman in his trailer, and my old man's flying over from NZ, and we're gonna slowly make our way up there and spend an extra night in some town. I don't know where yet because we haven't. I haven't planned it. So, but yeah, making road trips out of the meetings and that's an awesome way to do it. I've done that many a times with other races as well, and we just take an extra day or something, take their time getting up and have a bit of sightseeing on the way and that as well. And,
And that's a great thing about Speedway in New Zealand is normally a Saturday night. So it's a 6 o'clock race time, and so there's no point driving home afterwards. So you might as well, and the clubs love us having a lot of time. They're funded by their bar. Speedway tracks will have a licensed bar in their venue.
Yeah,
so it's encouraged.
That probably makes as much money as the Yeah.
So Blake, is that where you go and pick Scotty up from at the end of the night, or?
Yeah, one way or the other.
I don't know. He's got a bottle of Jim Beam there. What are you drinking tonight? You're on the water.
Nah, I'm all done. Scotty beat me to it. No, I think Scotty won the race on Saturday night, didn't you, Scotty?
Apparently.
It sounds like it.
I looked at my visa statement. I didn't buy a lot of drinks, so obviously I ran a pretty good meeting Saturday.
And I'm interested because you always see those podium big bottles of champagne get squirted around. Do you actually drink any of that stuff, or is it no good?
It actually went down quite good this year, surprisingly. I think it was just because it was, I don't know, for me, I was talking to a few during the day and I had absolutely nothing to eat and probably bugger all to drink. I felt like I wasn't like Scotty running it, but I was just running around checking that the boys were all good, seeing how all my other mates, like I had a mate that came up and had a go. Someone lent his bike out to him. He lost his leg a year ago or a couple of years ago in a road bike accident. So someone lent the bike to him and he
road racing at the national.
Oh yeah, racing.
At levels, Teratona. So and to see him riding was because he was on the board of Motorcycle New Zealand with me. And probably went through some of the worst things. Not the worst, but some of the worst things you do as a motorcycle racer. And to see him come out and early in the week, I put him in a group and he was petrified. And see the smile on his face all day.
He loved it.
He loved it.
Which is awesome. Yeah, the boys had just rigged up a handbrake for him. So off one of the I think it was off a Stark possibly, a handbrake cylinder, and just took a real long braided line all the way up to that. So he had a clutch lever mounted like this, and then a brake lever mounted like that, both on the same side.
Cool.
Yeah, so I think he'd barely even done any motocross. He's just purely road racer, New Zealand
champ,
Pro Twin champ.
Pro Twin, yeah.
So does he have what do you call it, prosthetic, artificial leg?
Yep. So he's just below the knee, but because it was his right leg and he's got obviously no movement in the ankle, he couldn't get to his brake lever and operate that, so had to make it work on the bars. And he had a blast. He said, righto, he said, I'm calling Blue Wing Honda on next week. I'm into this, so which is pretty cool.
Awesome. Yeah, that's fantastic.
So Blue Wing here is Honda distributor, so not a dealer distributor.
Yeah, righto. Yeah. Yeah, I got the pleasure to race against Alan Kempsey. I don't know if you knew him, an Aussie guy. Yeah, half his number was half. And when I saw him get on the bike, I'm sort of I didn't really think about whether I should be nervous with this guy being in the same group or anything like that. But far out, he still went like he
still went.
Was a full-bodied person. Yeah. It was pretty amazing. But yeah, unfortunately, he passed away too. But unrelated motorcycle. Yep. How many years ago was that? Quite a few years ago now.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. I don't know that.
Yeah, I'll double fact check that, but I'm pretty sure. I hope I didn't just drop myself in it. But yeah, I think it was he smoked like a chimney. I think it was something related like that.
Sounds like Ramsey.
Yeah.
So who we talked about, Mike Ramsey, was a guy that sponsored Blake back in the day, and very famous Kawasaki dealer in New Zealand who I bought his shop off him. It was my
Oh,
brother
righto.
who then brought me out. So yeah, Ramsey.
Yeah.
He had a couple of vices. His son was
Yeah.
first. His son won the first Clay Classic, won first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and but Ramsey's holds a special place in our heart.
Yeah,
and
It's pretty cool, isn't it? Like there's a bit of, like you say, through the whole pod you're saying you're young, but you know it's sort of you've got a good 8-9 years, or probably more now, a bit of flat track history happening in New Zealand, and I guess in the long term of things that is young, but look what you guys have achieved. Like you said, from 4 bikes and now you're getting grids of 30 bikes. You can run heats and DTX. I was actually going to ask before, do you think some of those other classes were a little bit less because they've stepped into DTX class, or they're
I
new
actually-
riders?
To be fair, me or Blake will ask this after me, but to me, we've lost some of the locals. We've
right.
had a few guys that were. There's a guy at South Island, a flat track and all that. We've almost got too serious with those guys, and we had talked about it. And some of our mates that still turned up for the piss up. So
Yeah, right.
we convinced them, and one of the sponsors who said, "Oh, I just didn't hear about it." It's like, well, so maybe we got to go out. And I think sometimes we rely on social media too much.
Yeah.
And we get all our friends say, "Yeah, this is good," but we got to go outside our friends. So yeah, I have a few ideas for next year, and I think those other classes mean more. We need to put more effort into them because the DTX the Clay Classic will always be one of the big clay track events.
Yeah,
we need to get some of those more, maybe go into the VMX crowd and go into the classic motorcycle racing crowd, which we used to get.
Yeah, do you know what can work well is just good old school posters and letterbox drops, like that. It's really underrated. Like I've mentioned it a few times on here, and yeah, like you say, we rely on the internet too much, and if you ever watched actually even a 30-year-old in between 20 and 30 on their mobile phone, how they absorb any of the shit that they're scrolling through.
I don't understand that at all. I don't understand it at all. Anyone on a mobile phone.
I was watching one of our riders, and they're going like this, and it's going so fast. I'm just like, how do you know what those things are that you're looking at?
Any of that in?
Yeah. And then they'll stop and they'll click like, and then they'll go like that again. The page is it's like a roulette machine or something, like a pokey. When it's spinning, it trips me out. But anyway, yeah, I sort of think the letterbox drop and posters still works. I'd quite often go to something like like the Ballarat show is on next weekend, and there's a few posters around with what's on there, like MX freestyle demo and some tractor pulling and that sort of stuff, and that sort of I'd take a photo of it with my phone just so I can look back at it later on, remind myself when it is and how much and that sort of thing. I think is where if it's on Facebook, trying to find something again on Facebook later, it can be impossible unless you screenshot it. But do you know how to do that, Scott?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're not that old then.
No.
Oh, good job. Well, thanks so much, guys. It must be getting pretty late your side. Yeah, thanks so much for taking the time out and talking to us about the 7th Sam Smith Clay Classic. And getting some Aussies over there this year was pretty cool. Hopefully there'll be more trailing behind them next year. It just gets bigger and bigger, and some of those marketing things come through, and you have bigger crowds come along. And what do you do with the donations? Do they go to charity?
So this year we went to a organisation called I Am Hope, which is and they provide counselling to people who are struggling. So it's a suicide prevention organisation, and it actually
is that the same mob as the past years, or are they different?
Early on it was a local one for Pukekohe in South Auckland, but this one's been a national organisation, and they got picked up by the last government. So whether we stay there or go somewhere again smaller. We'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, this year was I Am Hope.
Yeah, cool. And that's I've sort of was trying to wrap it up, but things keep popping into my mind. Do you guys obviously the guys that knew Sam and that do you talk about him a bit at this event? Is it sort of got a bit of that angle for you to really remember him and what he was about and why you're doing the event? Do you get time, or you're probably too busy to be honest, like making
I
sure
see
the
what
scoring
Scotty's
and
running
everything's
around
right?
like on that day, and it's like, yeah, I think a lot of people underappreciate how much work goes into running a day like that, and how,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, like I almost think Scotty sometimes needs like a whistle as well, hanging off with that high vis. He's just, that flat stick all day. So, but like I think another cool thing with that event, we get Sam's mum and dad are there sort of they haven't missed a single one, have they, Scotty?
No.
Yeah,
So,
awesome. Yeah.
so Sam's mum and her new partner run the gate. So they take the donations at the front gate. And to be fair, the way the Waihi Beach track's set up, they can still watch all the racing while they're doing that. So that's really cool.
Oh, awesome. Yeah.
And Bernie, Sam's dad, I have a lot to do with him, and I don't take the responsibility easy. I make sure that I run it for his family. It's my event, it's their event, and I make sure that early on, I'm always in contact with them like that to say, I get to do this on their behalf. And I always respect that.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, and I take it very seriously because I wouldn't want someone taking my kid's name in vain. So
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and Bernie has always been really, really awesome. So, and I always make sure Bernie gets his speech at the riders briefing and like that, and he calls out who he wants to call out and everything like that. So, I always respect that this is on their behalf, not because what we've done. So, yeah. But yeah, so yeah, that's
and she's suicide is a challenging,
subject,
complex
and especially in
subject.
Sam's case where there was a lot of CTE was, and in New Zealand, an ACT officially acknowledged it was a CTE case.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what that means. Yeah.
CTE is I don't know actually what.
Oh, right.
He had multiple concussions through motorcycle racing and car racing and all that. So CTE, if you look up CTE, you'll understand what it means. So
okay.
And the New Zealand government officially recognised that CTE was a reason for Sam's suicide. So suicide is a bad thing, and CTE is a bad thing, and together they're a really bad thing. So and me and Blake,
well, I hope that anyone at the event that is suffering, or anyone listening to this, there are those organisations out there. There's one over here called Beyond Blue. There's a couple others, and what was the one you mentioned your donations went to?
I Am Hope.
I Am Hope. So reach out to those guys if you are struggling. Yeah, there are people out there that are trained. I've had a couple friends actually myself that have gone to suicide, and we knew we were losing them, and you need a trained professional, and you also need to want that help. So make sure you reach out, guys, because we don't want to lose any more races or any more humans to problems like that. So I'm glad you're racing that event. And I don't want to steer away from the seriousness of what it's all about either. And like you say, take Sam's name in vain. And you guys are doing an awesome thing. And I guess a bonus out of it, is that flat track's growing along with it. So his memory will live on, and it's actually serving another purpose as well, as not just realising and suicide prevention, but growing a sport at the same time, which is pretty cool, really. I hope his family appreciate what you guys are doing and love the whole story that's unraveling and 7 years in, and I've had like the guys in the Netherlands mentioned New Zealand flat track as well. Said it looks like it's a lot of fun. Some of them said, "Oh, it's too far for me to go," but a couple of the others would be pretty keen. So you never know, you might get a few Dutch guys come over at some stage. I met a couple of guys from England as well. They mentioned you guys as well. So yeah, you're definitely stamping your mark in the flat track scene. So I think it's pretty cool, and yeah, honoured to have you guys on and keep that winning streak going, Blake. Fend those Aussies off every time they come over, and you might want to give them the 300, not your 450 next time, though.
Yeah, maybe might be the best option, I think.
Thanks, Darcy, mate. We appreciate your efforts over as well, and bringing up the 19-inch. We'll get you boys off those Michelin tyres.
yeah, we're slowly getting there. It's funny.
I reckon the Michelin Porter must have some good tyres to keep them selling that many tyres. So yeah,
I keep. I just do sly little digs about 19s. I don't want to push anyone too hard, but yeah, we're starting to win. I think before you know it, it'll
it's just
be
the rest of the world,
19s.
mate. Aussie, you don't have to go by yourself. Come join the rest of the world.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
All right, guys. So
Cheers,
you
mate.
know what to do. Go flat tracker. Keep it sideways. I said it backwards. Keep it sideways. Go flat tracker. On you
mate.
guys. Thanks.
Go flat tracker. Go flat tracker. Go, go, go.